What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
This project started to coalesce. I started to realize that travel agents and travel agencies first are going away. And I think that those words and that term and the beauty of that is so nice that I don't ever want it to leave. I don't want it to be replaced with Expedia. So I felt like kind of a personal responsibility as an artist to take care of that gray space of like what is going to happen to this word, what is going to happen to these terms, and find something that really feels like it fits it. So the travel agency operates kind of on this principle that many people who engage with the contemporary art community are tourists. And it's very difficult for people traveling to a new place for the first time to feel comfortable in that space. And the thing that the travel agency does, or travel agents do, is they use their expertise to translate local culture and norms to a tourist, to a visitor. And the process of giving that to them and making it clear to them is a way of like welcoming them into these beautiful new experiences.
But it's funny that you bring up Kiki's now, Kiki Salem's piece, which I feel like is totally so much different than Elle's piece.
Right.
This one feels very, it is meant to be empowering and implicating the viewer and the reader in a very direct way. So I feel like, and maybe more people took pictures of themselves in front of Kiki's piece because of that empowering aspect of it.
Yeah. Also, I guess we can like talk a little bit too about like the digital audience. Like I think Kiki's particularly, this one was like reshared so many times, and was just like, it was really cool to see how far it spread that way. They didn't have to be there, to take a photo. They could just share the image that we took. But for them, it was like sharing her PSA.
There are a couple of things. I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was kind of the most contrast of like, this is one that I saw a lot more interaction with on social, or a lot more people kind of like being a part of this image. I feel like this speaks, like this is one that you step into and you can own this message for yourself and engage in this message for yourself. And there are a couple of other things that change with this one. The banner style of the text is very unique and divergent for the scope of what we see PSA typically do. And and then I'm not actually sure of the timing of this, but I think that looking at this one and then also looking at Jessie Donovan's billboard, and thinking about them as like similar materials as well. So there's like this banner material, and then this like I think most often billboards are kind of like this tarp-like banner, vinyl tarp material, and we have a detail of it here. Okay.
That's hand embroidery by Kiki.
Oh, wow.
That was a nice touch that she added to it as well.
Yeah.
Kiki works a lot with fiber arts, so.
Yeah, maybe that's why we were kind of drawn to working on, or we talked about doing banners with her, and she was really on board. She also does tapestries in her work and a lot of fiber, so I think that really makes sense.
A big part of the banner decision for Kiki's work was because we wanted to accommodate the Arabic text, and so the way our infrastructure set up, it would have been difficult to cut out the Arabic text and place that. It wouldn't have fit on the wires so well, so that's why we opted for a banner approach.
That there are a lot of portrait work, but then there's also a lot of graphic design with some 3D elements on there. I'm looking, do you see the one that I'm showing right now?
Yeah, I can see that. That's titled either Ritual 1 or Ritual 2, but they're kind of based off me looking into like historically, like coming from like African roots, how we like use rituals like throughout time as Black people, whether it's from Africa, the Caribbean, like American Black people. I feel like regardless of where you're located, like the idea of like ritual and like spirituality has always like played a huge part in the culture as a whole. So this is me kind of like not direct, this is not like a direct like, oh, this comes from this spiritual practice, but it's definitely like a shout out to spirit boards and divination and like the different ways that we would use like fortune telling and different things like that. So this is kind of like a representation of that practice, like having shapes and like in different tribes in Africa, like they'll paint shapes on their houses and on their huts to represent certain ideas, whether it's like goddesses or representing protection or whatever. So this is like my take on symbols that to me represent protection, but also historically, like the triangle, the pyramids, or the idea of the eye and like mirrors, like reflecting back to you. So it's a lot of that, like a lot of personal interpretation about like divination and spirituality, but also like historical as well.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Club Stars Line. I'm your co-host, Jake Leach, and to my left on your screen is my mom, Denise Hewlett. Hi, Mom. How are you doing?
Oh, hi, son. How are you? We ready to do this?
I'm doing quite peachy. Yeah, we're going to do this today. Well, so a lot has happened. I'm already out of breath. My God, we're just so hype in this. Mom, you're kind of somewhere else. The people can't really see, but we've got you're actually in space. It looks like.
Yeah.
So you're looking back onto the planet. Did you take like a Tesla rocket? Are you at the International Space Station? Where are you exactly right now?
That is a view of the Earthrise. And no, I am not in the space station. I am in my transit van in the high desert in Joshua Tree, California. That's where I'm. Shall we go ahead and show people? Should
Yes,
we do the
show
big
people where you're at. Let's take a
so
look
let me
here.
go ahead and open the van door.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Kind of bright, y'all. Can you see it?
Yeah, Mom,
Kevin,
here,
see?
bring your computer over so people can kind of see.
Am I doing the right?
Yeah,
part two?
that's. Why don't you go out and stand in it real quick, Mom, just to prove that it's not a green screen.
Hello, y'all.
Exit the van entirely. Go. This ain't no joke, y'all. Yeah, there she is, out in the world. We love to see this. Yes, bye, Denise. My mom said, or my mom, little Miss Gabby says, we got the chat blowing up over here.
Oh my goodness.
Major
performance artist Chrissy T.
Okay, so we will be checking on the sunset periodically over the next hour and a half, but right now
I don't know. I had a hard time
blazing, so I
copying.
need
You
to
have to.
close it. So here we go.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Get that door closed here. Nice and cool.
Yeah. Yes. Although, speaking of blazing, I also have my, can you see this?
Yeah, what do we have here?
My UFO incense thing going.
We got
so
the
just to
emojis
complete
from-
the whole thing.
Hello, Marissa.
It's a full sensory overload. A full
Marissa
sensory
worked together
experience
for,
you have going on here.
Isn't
We
that
worked
interesting,
together
Jake?
for
Isn't that
2
yes,
years.
Is that something that might come up later on?
I had the Twitch on mine.
Okay.
Are you watching the Twitch while we're
All right,
on?
you
No,
go.
this is Photoshop.
Okay, ready?
Everyone cover your ears. Okay.
This is an ad for
Ooh,
Photoshop, which I'm. How do I skip the ad?
You can skip that. I made some bad.
Y'all ready? Here we go. I think we're on it.
Okay.
All right. So, yes, hello. It's us. Welcome us, welcoming you. We are live now. I think just briefly our audio cut on just before we came on, so you got a little teaser. But welcome to the show. You are watching Art Brunch on the Travel Agency. The Travel Agency is a digitally native platform that connects artists to live stream resources. We create art-centered entertainment and approachable artist talks, which is what we're here today to do for Art Brunch. It's our weekly-ish show highlighting members from the contemporary art world. Sometimes, lots of times from St. Louis, other times from other places. Denise, hello. Hello, hola, welcome. I have a co-host with me here today. His name is Jake Leach. Welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Rick. It's good to be back. I'm glad to be back on track. I think we're here. What am I saying? I'm knocking the rust off now while I can. So
No, it's good. Yeah, I think I'm living in just like 10% sunburn hell, and
yes, okay. I'm glad you were going to bring this up.
I also like can't run my air conditioner while we're streaming because it's loud and it blows my green screen down. So I'm just gonna be baking over here a little bit today.
You're going to be toasting and roasting. Yeah, I am sunburnt, and Rick, you are too. And
Yeah, you can see it.
It's
I wouldn't say sunburnt. I would say sun-kissed.
sun sun smooched.
Yeah.
Just
A light peck from the sun.
yes, just something like that. My neck doesn't feel that way, but you don't have to see that, thankfully. So we'll save everyone for that.
Are you poached yourself?
I think so. I think it's poach. I think it's a poaching for sure. That's what happened. I feel stirred in a giant pot of water, sort of. Yeah, no, it's definitely a poaching for
Yeah,
sure.
so we went out to brunch yesterday and sat on a patio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice, distanced, great.
An art brunch, honestly.
Yeah, it was
IRL.
the
What a moment.
First time we went to brunch in like 2 years together,
That's
aside
right.
from these shows.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there, and it was just, boy, it was just hot. It was really hot, and the
You
sun
were
was like
cooking.
right on top of me. It's the most I felt that
Oh,
way in a
boy.
long time. I almost ordered biscuits and gravy, but very fortunately decided not to do that.
Oh, that would have been
I would have been dead today.
madness.
It's not
Absolute madness. Not good.
Um,
Oh my god.
okay. Well,
We're gonna get poached in the chat right there for that one. I tell you what.
what's that?
Never mind.
We have some
Let
guests
us
today.
dip in more.
We have some guests today. We're hanging out with Cunst Gallery, and their bio reads, Cunst Gallery is a house in Marine Villa, St. Louis. It opened its first show in 2019 at its previous location in the Benton Park neighborhood, featuring the work of Brittany Boyton and Liz Moore. Since then, oh no, I'm going to mess some of these up. Since then, Cunst has showed artists Alexa Cavillo, Rachel Coleman, Sam Watkins, Pat Owens, Alex T. Klein, Ali Litwicki, Ruyo, I don't know how to say that. I'm really Rowie Gone, Jessica Lynn Hunt, Sarah Knight, Rachel LeBeau, and currently on view Sarah Riddell and Nisveta Fajic. So let's welcome our guests on today. I only messed up like one or two of those. I should have done my announcer due diligence, and I've
You did
I've
great.
failed. Thank you.
We did okay. I think you did just fine, Rick.
Skate Mom, hello. Thank you for being in the chat here. But yeah, welcome. This is what it feels like to be live on the internet.
We're live. We're live on the internet. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
We're
TV on the internet.
here.
Yeah, I
Always,
think
for
that
sure.
I've been kind of like in and out of the art scene in St. Louis over the course of my life, and I first heard about your space probably right before the last show. So I like came into contact with it and it was like, oh, this is great. And then big period of time, but I was fortunately able to come over and see the most recent exhibition that you all have up, which has been up now for a week and a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we listed some of the people that you've had on, you've had in the space, and it's been in 2 different spaces. But we'll get kind of deep into that in a little bit. And it was y'all's anniversary yesterday.
It was, yes.
So happy anniversary.
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
3 years.
Cheers to that. Cheers
We
to
have our
that.
water and our coffee and our micheladas today.
So
Yes.
this is the hair of the dog art brunch.
Hair of the dog art brunch.
Or we need an owl salve,
Going
honestly.
live
You know?
on the internet.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, so then
God.
for today, we usually like to share a beverage with our friends across time and space. And I guess I should also introduce you, Lauren, and Lex. I don't think I said your actual names
We
at
don't need
any
to know
point.
our names.
Yeah.
The
We pretty
We're
deliberately
anonymous.
we deliberately do not include our names on Cunst material, but you can know our names now. But
You
like,
can know our names now. You're allowed, yeah.
we're not going to put it on the website. Right now.
Really? You don't do that? You don't do that at all?
Kunst admin reveal right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Face reveal, everything.
I mean, we went on the Cool Whip podcast. but
That's
you
true.
can't
We
see
have
our
been on
faces.
publicly on the Cool Whip
Mm.
podcast. So this is the first time our
gonna
faces
say.
have been publicly revealed.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the
Except-
light.
Except for at our public openings.
Yeah, except for at our public openings. On the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, yeah, and you don't have your names, but you know where people know where you live, and you invite them
Yeah.
into your home. So
Yeah, they don't know our names, but they do know our address.
you run a spectrum of your own doxing, sort of. Yes.
Put the address on the website, but we have like a Google Map pin, and like we're right at a corner, so
Mhm.
it would be extremely easy to figure
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I allowed to tell a story right now?
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Always.
We got in trouble. Whoever the tattletale is out there,
Right into the
watching you.
camera.
right into the camera. We, right before our opening on last Friday, I was here working from home, and somebody knocked on the door, and it was a man from the city, St. Louis, and he was like, "Hello, ma'am, is this the Kosharadsky residence?" Which is Lex's last name, and I was like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Wow, really
And he
reveal
shows-
it all.
Turns and shows me an iPad with our Facebook event pulled up on it. And he
Uh-huh.
said, "Ma'am, is this your event?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my Facebook event." What's going on? And he was like, "Well, ma'am, you need to have a permit. We got an anonymous complaint that you are hosting like an unsanctioned event, I guess."
Oh my God.
And I was like, standing there just like in shock. I was like, "What is going on? Who complained about my Facebook event?" Of all
yes.
With like
things?
40 people having seen it.
Yeah, it wasn't like there. I think there was like 40 people like interested or whatever. Anyway, long story short, I guess if you are the rule that we learned, the guy was
Mhm.
cool about it. He was basically like, again, whoever you are out there, he was like, "Ma'am, I'll be honest with you. I think people should just mind their own business. I didn't want to come here and tell you this, but I have to. It's my job." He was straight up just like, "I think this is bullshit, but I have to tell you. I have to do my due diligence." He was like, "I'm not going to come back tonight. You don't have any people here right now, so I can't get you in trouble. And so I'm not going to come back tonight, but he's like, my advice for you in the future would be make this a private Facebook event, and you can't, what else was it? Oh, we said that like the artwork was for sale, and he was like, you can't say you have stuff for sale because that means you're running a business out of your home." It was
Yeah.
very weird. Anyway,
Whoever this narc was, I bet that they've tattled on a kid's lemonade stand before too.
yes,
Yeah.
probably.
What
So
a dork.
in summation, we're probably going to take down we're probably going to move Cunst off Facebook because I feel like that is where all the narcs are. So
True.
We're
Yeah.
gonna move Cunst onto next door though.
Double down. Yes. Double down on that. Let him know. Wow. Well, and I think it's ironic that, he's like, I don't like telling people what to do. I think everyone should mind their own business, yet works for the government.
no, it's like it seems like that is literally your job, sir.
I think his job is his card said building inspector, so I think that he does go around to like make sure buildings are habitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we need that. So thank you
Yeah.
for his service,
Yes.
but to the dark narc there.
Not mad at that gentleman. I'm mad at whoever tattled.
Yep. Wow. Well, and also, this is a really good primer for like anyone who would want to open their own, or like, here's the 411, y'all.
Good
Building
tip.
inspectors might show up to your
You
spot.
are not
you know?
allowed to willingly put your address on the internet and allow strangers to come into your home, apparently. Didn't know.
Wow.
I didn't know. It's not
Wow.
allowed.
That's smart. That makes sense. Well, I think, should we cheers to that, perhaps?
Let's cheers to it.
Successful event. And what do we got rocking here?
So this is all Lex.
Yeah.
I am a huge chilada or michelada fan. I really like these canned ones. I also really like making them at home. It is like it's a Mexican beer tail. This one says with the refreshing flavors of tomato, salt, and lime. So basically, a chilada or michelada, it is a beer with stuff added to it, and it's usually like some bars and restaurants will just do like Bloody Mary mix with a beer. Like my mom thinks of this as called a fisherman's Bloody Mary, which is I guess a thing in Minnesota. But yeah, I think this is like this is my favorite one, or the Soul one is also really good. If you're into it, I think the Bud Light ones are nasty.
I believe it.
Don't have Bud Light ones.
All right, let's pop these bad boys.
All right.
We get the group pop. Well,
Cheers.
It's cheers, y'all. It's sweet.
Smell.
I'm terrified of this.
Yeah. Rick, we've got a can.
Yeah, it is a can.
And Lex, you already talked about the can copy too. That was an old segment we had on the show. We'd get the group pop, which we just did, talk about the can, and talk can copy.
Oh yeah.
And you already did it. So this is great. We're off to the races.
It is good.
I've never had a michelada in a can before. This is my first can
Really?
michelada. Yeah.
That's insane because I've had literally thousands
It's good.
of these.
I was kind of scared, but it's good.
We used to live right by Joel's Shell, and when I was off for the summer and just painting in our house, I would walk to the gas station to get them like every day.
I don't know why. What do you think? What's the review?
I feel like it's so close to being bad, but it isn't. Like if one thing was just like a little different, like I would hate it. Yeah. But it's like teetering like right on the edge of reality, and it's good. It's like everything in me wants to say it's not good, but they've nailed it. They nailed it.
They really did.
Gotta send that review to the fine folks at Modelo. It's so close.
Yeah, we should.
Bad.
It's really there's a lot going on.
Well, I feel like I should tell a brief story of how I procured mine.
Yeah.
Because
I had a feeling last night. I was laying in bed and I was like, Jake's not going to get this thing. I don't know what Jake's doing, but I just have a feeling that Jake's not going to get it. And you've never not gotten it before.
Where's the faith?
I do have faith. I didn't
bro?
Anxiously text you. I went to bed. I didn't have bad dreams. But I do remember I had like a little fear. I was like, maybe tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow's the day Jake finally fails me in terms of the drink. Well,
but
spoiler
no,
alert,
very much the opposite.
Well, I sort of failed you almost. So Lex, you told us that it was at Quick Trips. I went to 3 different ones.
Oh my God!
Oh, no.
Could not find them. So then I wake up this morning. I'm like, I gotta freaking find one. I end up finding one, and I get there this morning at like 8:45, and I'm just like, oh, I'm definitely just gonna pick up a gelada at 8:45 a.m. I get there and I'm like texting Rick, and he's like, as I'm like walking, he says they don't sell alcohol before noon, and I was like, what? And so I go into Quick Trip and I try to open the thing, and there's a lock on the top that's like just this little awkward, just the top, not the bottom. So it's like kind of opening, but not. It's just really, I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I was like, I mean, the show doesn't start till 10, and like, I mean, it'll be fine. But I was like, so I walk over, and I was like, hi, this thing is locked. And I'm like trying to play dumb. He's like, yeah, that opens at 9. I was like, oh. Yes, okay, but like, okay, fine.
What a weird arbitrary time. Why is it okay to drink a michelada at 9 a.m. and not 8 a.m.?
I don't know. I guess you can't pregame church, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the idea is.
Which is
part of me.
Do you know, Rick?
The most lax like drinking rules, but I guess because it's a Sunday.
Maybe
there
it
is
is
like
Sunday.
something on Sunday.
Yeah,
because
this is a beer.
I literally saw a guy buying
We'll
one
have
of these
supper 8 a.m.
on Friday. I saw a guy buying one of these at the Quick Trip on Gravois at like 7:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a Sunday thing. Yeah.
It's a Sunday
Yeah,
thing.
it's definitely Sunday. So usually you can start buying alcohol at 6. So there's that gap, right, where they stop at 1 or 3 depending on, and then you can't buy anything until 6 a.m. So you just have to get enough alcohol to last you 3 hours, and you can keep that shit rolling.
Very
It's
doable.
so weird. Why? I don't know.
But Sundays, it used to be noon, on Sundays. I'm really glad it's not, because that's
my
always a
God.
fear that I have, is if I can't find it on Saturday night, because I don't give myself any time. I always just do it on Saturday nights. It's like if I can't find it on Saturday night, then I've always thought that I was just screwed because you couldn't get anything until 12. But now my inner procrastinator knows that if all else fails, I can make that run between 9 and 10, which sounds terrible, and I don't want to do it.
So I bought a Gatorade. Yeah.
It tastes like food.
It really does. It's liquid food.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
It's like a tomato soup and a grilled
Like
cheese
a
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got the liquid bread.
It does feel like you're like eating a meal a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Very savory.
My guess is that there's MSG in it.
Yeah, I bet there is MSG in here. It has that MSG savory flavor.
Oh yeah. What is the percentage?
What is it?
3.
3. Oh.
Oh, chilling.
Yeah.
Well, and Rick, you love Bloody Marys. Like, you're my Bloody Mary guy.
Mhm.
And so, like, I mean, should we get into our little brief breakdown questions, and we can?
No, I think we just talk about it,
We're
and
just
we
chatting?
just move
Okay.
on. Yeah.
I mean, how are you vibing with it? Because you're like my go-to person for
Well,
it.
so this has happened like 2 times in the past 4 weeks. So like I like mimosas, and I like Bloody Marys. I like brunch cocktails. So then with Vaughn, we did beer mosa, which I thought was like going to be an abomination because
so good.
Like just orange juice and champagne. Like what? How can you get any
Don't
better
mess
than
it
that?
up.
And then like substituting beer in for spirits or for champagne didn't make sense to me at all. So the same way as
What kind of beer did you use?
Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
The
I don't think it's the
oranginess, yeah.
classic, but it was good.
It was good.
But yeah,
I think that does
usually
sound-
I just so my whole experience of these kinds of things is at like Southwest Diner the next day, and I'm hungover, and I see that you've got the chelada or you've got the beer mosa as like an alternative to just like the OG stuff, and it's like usually like a little cheaper and it's quicker and kind of like fun and funkier, it seems like. And it's like, oh, okay, like that's what I said this on his episode, is like, okay, that's what I would drink if I was like 3 times more hungover this morning. Or but like actually I'm realizing through this process that they're standalone drinks.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I apologize, for having that vendetta. I thought they were just like compromises, but they aren't compromises.
We did it.
It's its own thing.
We're
I
here.
think of this as a really good afternoon beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. And you're blowing my mind,
like-
man, when you said Fisherman's Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Such a great.
Good name.
That should be the tagline. Honestly, they should really embrace that.
Fisherman's
Our
Bloody
friends
Mary.
over at Modelo. But
Mm-hmm.
wow. Well, wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing this into our lives, y'all. We're
Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely.
it's an ebb and flow here.
Never miss an opportunity to evangelize the magnificent Colada.
It was between
Actually,
this and the Natter Day, and I think we made the right
Oh, yeah.
decision.
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think we strongly made the right
We
decision.
love the Natter Day, but the
No
Natter Day
disrespect.
is definitely like barbecue Friday night, like 80 degrees,
Hell yeah.
evening beverage. It is not a morning beverage
No.
at
Yeah.
all.
No, definitely not.
And for our viewers out there, the Natter Day is a strawberry lemonade flavored Natty Light, and it's really good. I hate Natty Lights. I don't like a traditional Natty Light, but the Natter Day is fabulous.
Is it
We
beer?
Is beer? Yeah.
Yes.
It's flavored beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's flavored beer. Yeah.
See,
Yeah, it's not like a seltzer or anything. It's just like a beer, but it's really
Rick's
really
like,
good.
nah.
It's like Puppet Time, kind of. You know?
It's like a sweet strawberry lemonade Bud Light Lime.
Good Lord.
What are the drinking rituals at Cunst Gallery?
Oh, Lex, take it away.
We always have beer and bubbly water, and then I usually like to get something fun. Like we usually just have like Busch, but then at our last show we had the out of the office pack of Bud Light seltzers.
We'd like to have a seltzer or like a flavored beer available.
And those are a real hit. I'm gonna get more of those next time.
Yeah, those went fast.
Yeah.
If you got here at like 7 p.m. at Cunst on Friday, you got a seltzer.
Yeah, I think
they were gone in a minute.
Yeah, I think
then
Tiffany and I crushed those a little bit.
Yeah, you had some seltzers. But every show at 9 o'clock, so like an hour before we close, we do a toast to our artists, and you know, it's been a few different ways. Usually we'll like make a funny cocktail or serve some interesting kind of booze, and everybody does a shot of it. And you know, sometimes there's like a performance element. At the last one, we served the Big and Rich brand of whiskey. John Rich whiskey.
John Rich's whiskey, yeah.
And Lauren led the crowd in the recitation of their poem, "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy."
Yeah. The literature that they've written, "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy."
A timeless piece for sure. A timeless.
That was a good one.
But we've also done one. You know, we did a flaming shot one time.
The very first one we did was really funny because it was Florida Georgia line.
Oh yeah.
It was their whiskey. So in the Cunst household, we're proprietors of
country music
themed alcohol.
As you should.
Sort of
as you
running theme.
Yeah, but the Florida Georgia line
Florida
one
Georgia
was.
line whiskey was good. Actually, no, it was terrible. It wasn't good.
It was heinously bad. It was
like peach cobbler flavored.
Peach
Oh
pecan,
my
which I think are
God.
two flavors that don't go with each other at all.
Yeah,
It
tastes like acid.
Yeah.
It tasted like a Bath and Body Works candle.
But we found it on what was it? We were on a float trip, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't find it in St. Louis,
Well,
but
now
we
you
found
can.
it.
Now you can.
It was like at a gas station in like southern Missouri somewhere, and we saw it and we were like, we have to get this. But it had a really nice. This one actually did literally have like a poem on the back of it.
Yeah.
Not song lyrics, but a literal poem. But I don't remember what it said.
Yeah. Do you have it?
About, like,
imprinted in memory.
Ladies. And,
like your tractor or something.
Yeah, something about your tractor.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that was our
The
first.
steed.
That was the first toast. Was reciting the lyrics reciting the poem on the Florida Georgia line whiskey.
Important
so
chat
time was
message.
kind of
Sorry.
it felt like an homage.
Good. Important chat message here from Raygun Inc. There's a new pineapple Natterdays.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw that.
Good to know.
So now we have
I
that
might
as a problem.
I don't love pineapple as much, but that's interesting.
I'm getting it for the next show.
Okay.
This is happening now. Oh Lord.
But yeah, the Cunst toast is really fun. That's a very fun part of what we do, and it's a nice way to like get everybody all in one room or one space in the backyard. You know, get all together and do the toast.
Originally, one of the ideas behind it was just like because it was in our old apartment, and we had like a couple rooms, and people would hang out outside in the front and the back, like smoke cigarettes or whatever, and it would get everybody into one room, so it would feel like there was a shitload of people there. There were.
Yeah. Cool.
That's
awesome.
Business.
Yeah, it's good to have like little rituals around the space, and y'all have so much more flexibility too with it because you don't have problems of people. I mean, I guess you probably have some problems of people being weird, but you get to kind of make your own way with the way that you have everything set up. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really had any issues with anybody being
no
weird.
Oh, that's good.
Space. It's been pretty chill.
Yeah.
It's been pretty darn chill. People are trustworthy, I think.
You just gotta believe in them. Yep.
Just gotta believe.
We want to keep drinking these and look at some tweets.
Let's do it. Let's look at some art tweets of the week. This is our new segment, new-ish. Well, I guess no, it's brand new. Where Jake feels like he's actually doing something on Twitter for the past week. So I have scraped the barrels. I have done all the work, so you don't have to. And I bring some of the best stuff I found to talk about with our wonderful guests.
You
just to
sent me
kinda
a
get
lot of
things-
stuff on Twitter. I didn't
I just-
realize. I never
yeah.
checked Twitter, and you were like,
Dude.
"Yeah, I DM'd you the tweets for today," and I go, and there's like 6 extra
There's a
tweet
sea.
DMs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what does this like welding mustard have to do with art brunch?
No, that was just personal. Yeah, that was just for us. But so are we gonna start with the minimalism one, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So
let me pull it up here.
let's see, we got it up on the screen. Okay, perfect. So in typical Twitter fashion, I have no idea who made this originally. Maybe someone in the chat does that,
The
like has an
Goblin
art degree
King
or something. Yes.
posted it at
So
least.
our friend at the Goblin King or the Moon Rays, anyway,
Yeah.
says the following: minimalism is dead. Long live tacky extravagance, performative excess, artless luxury, and all forms of opulence. For its own sake, long live bad taste. So I am just so curious. How does Cunst feel about this vibe? How did
Oh
they
my
have to-
god, I was just thinking like I feel like this is like my mantra.
Yeah, I'm strongly
very
in
strongly in
support
support of this photograph.
I want
photographic tweet.
This is like if we
If
had
we
a,
had a live, laugh, love,
I was
actually.
literally
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna say, it would be this. It
I
would
feel
literally
like-
just be this sign.
Yeah, we need this in like a live, laugh, love style sign.
It
yeah,
kind of is.
I'm
mean,
it's-
it's got
it's-
the
extreme support of everything that this says. Yeah.
Okay.
This is very maximalist. Well, you can see, let's see,
Yeah,
I don't want to like go crazy here, but Sarah's show right now, I feel like really embraced maximalism. She brought, gosh, she honestly probably brought like 200 paintings and
goodness.
illustrations. And this is what we were able to fit in the space. But we were like, just hang what you can hang. Let's get it all up there. Like show as much as you can. And I feel like this work really, I don't know, it really works in like a maximalist way. Like there's so much of it and it all looks so different
For
that
sure.
it pulls the room together. But yeah, Cunst is we're also very pro bad taste.
Yes.
yeah,
If you've
is
noticed
this-
from all of the country whiskeys we've been discussing here.
we're very pro camp, maybe you might say. Like
Yes.
the
Pro camp,
campness
yes.
is,
Oh my God.
is alive, and
Extremely. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like I feel like camp is in, and the joy of camp is that it's supposed to be bad. But I feel like is camp going to stay camp if camp is in? Like I feel like camp in general, almost as a concept, is in. Which I realize we're kind of going into the broader connotation of this tweet, but I mean, just for the sake of conversation, I mean, what do you feel like the state of camp is at this moment?
Camp will always find a way to resist its own commodification.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like the second, like if say something like big and goofy and ridiculous becomes commodified, then it's going to become good taste, and then no.
I think that people are, how do I want to phrase this? Like, I feel like there's not really any tolerance for like snobby like bullshit anymore or something. Or at least I don't have any tolerance for like anything like esoteric, not esoteric, but like what am I trying to say? Like, what's the better word for snobby?
Like, I don't know.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Because I think inscrutable things are cool.
Yeah.
Like something can be cool and inscrutable, but
Pretentious.
Pretentious.
I'm very
Okay.
anti-pretension, and I feel like this meme, I'm calling it a meme now. I don't know. This tweet
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
kind of on that verge. I think any form of pretension is really stupid, and Cunst is anti that.
Yes.
So I feel like
Oh, for
camp is
sure.
kind of like fighting that. It's like you don't have to be, a super snappy, like pretentious whatever to have like taste.
We have like a sort of a secondary tweet, Rick. If you want to put up the Earth one, the Earth image.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of a great part 2 to this because a lot of people in design are doing this now. So we have a picture of the Earth. Says before, it says, God let designers rebrand Earth, which makes it soft and very I don't know.
That looks
some
like
other
an
art.
app.
Yes, no, exactly. It's the application of Earth itself. But yeah, I mean, this is that idea, sort of, right? Like, I love the idea that regular Earth, an image of the Earth, is kind of viewed as like maybe campy now. like old Doritos logos or something. It's like, no, Earth itself. We need to soften Earth. We need to make it
To soften the first thing that comes to my
These
head
are-
is that like illustration style that's so popular right now.
Oh my
that's
god,
like
yeah.
like you know what I'm saying already before I even
Oh, we
describe
know
it. Like,
exactly
the-
what you're
the
talking
people, it's like people, but they're like really minimalist.
It's like the vector
And
Facebook
they're always
people,
they're
right?
always like
Yeah.
on an infographic on Instagram that has like 10 slides.
Yeah.
That I
Right.
hate it. Hate it.
It's so bad. It's really so awful.
Here's what's going on in my bathroom and what you can do to help.
Sounds like a Brad Trammell tweet.
It really does.
yeah.
Okay,
the
drink. We mentioned
infographic-
Brad Trammell. Everyone drink. We mentioned Brad. All right, here we go.
We love Brad. in
Big
this.
Brad.
Oh
Trammell
yeah,
fan.
love hate. There's love hate. You gotta love it.
So, a couple things here for me. So, like, in the comments here, it says, or I saw it somewhere, skeuomorph is so 2012, which I think is like hilarious, talking about like a real object, like thinking about like how the calculator used to look like a calculator on the iPhone, and now it's just this kind of like icon. So that was like the movement away from skeuomorphing. But then just to say that like a picture of the Earth is a skeuomorph is like so ridiculous, but like it is because that's not the Earth,
Yeah.
right? It's something that's supposed to represent the Earth. but yeah, skeuomorph so
unbelievable.
2012.
You know what this reminds me of? I saw on Instagram the other day a meme of the like original, like the 1990s Chuck E. Cheese,
Uh-huh.
where he is he
yeah.
actually looks like a rat, like one that you would find crawling in like the alley. And it said 90s Chuck E. Cheese looks like he would laugh while ashing his cigar onto. He's a really evil looking rat, and I'm like, we need more of that. That sounds great.
We do.
Is-
No, for sure.
Is this actually the new Doritos logo?
No.
No,
Have you guys seen
please.
this?
Absolutely.
I have seen this. Yeah.
It's
I didn't know
crazy.
that we
Wild.
had to like stand vintage Doritos. That's
I know. Well, and I'm glad we brought this up because, like, yeah, I mean, like, I see the Earth in the old chip bag, and now I see this soft, boring. I don't know. It's just, yeah. Like, look at that.
there was nothing wrong with the
That's
original
crazy.
one.
I
No.
have not seen that.
Well, and I
Yeah.
don't like the new one
How
looks
would
like
they
it has like a
make
play
Doritos
button.
classic?
you
right.
know? Like, what is that about?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think Doritos is supposed to be like fun and like a story. Like you eat Doritos at, I don't know, like when I was a kid, I thought like Doritos were like the extreme snack,
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
the
Yeah.
play snack.
What's your favorite Dorito flavor?
Ooh, we talked about this on a recent stream, so you guys go first. You're the guests.
Purple bag.
Purple, spicy sweet chili. No
Chili.
contest.
Yeah.
What color bag is your favorite one?
That's a fan
The
favorite.
purple bag.
That's
Like
Jack's
yeah,
favorite,
sweet
right?
chili is- Yeah, our
Yeah,
boy
those
Jack
are
Garland, he
amazing.
loves the sweet chili.
We
That's his
kayak a
thing.
lot, and every time we kayak, like we get the big bag of
Mm.
purple Doritos.
Doritos.
And we crush it.
Doritos hit differently when
Yeah.
you've been swimming.
Doritos hit different
Oh,
when you
for
Your
sure.
fingers are wet.
Yeah, see the
Oh,
extreme
yeah.
snack. Yeah,
We-
when you're playing, right?
Yeah, no, exactly, precisely.
Ray Gunning says,
Oh my
I would
God.
always press play on a bag of Doritos.
I mean, I would too. I mean, that's what I'm
Same.
trying to do.
And we had a question earlier from Hillary on the Hill STL, and we can answer this briefly, but I think it was in reference to talking about pretentious art, which you said, Lauren. What would be pretentious art to you? Like, do you have some simple examples of things you're looking at right now, or not looking at right now?
Actively
How would I answer
avoiding
that?
right now.
And not necessarily pretentious art, but just like pretension in general.
Okay.
I am averse to. I am averse to like people thinking, I don't know, and I'm saying this as like a former, like very pretentious, like 19-year-old, which is maybe why I'm like, I just have like
Yeah.
a hatred of the way I used to behave when I was like a snobby, like punk.
Right.
So it's more about like thinking that your taste like makes you
Like
better than someone.
like
I don't know.
the I don't go west of Hampton starter pack we were just talking
Yeah.
about before the show. Like
We were laughing about that, yeah.
like
That's the St. Louis thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
There's
think-
no like specific art I have in mind, but it's more just like the concept of thinking that like because you like a certain thing that somehow like elevates you. above somebody, which so many people do still. I feel like it's very 2000 late. Like, I think it's like hippie, like being a hipster, right? You know, like the whole, I feel like the concept of like a hipster doesn't really even exist anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was such a strong vibe in like 2012.
Yeah.
Of being like a snobby hipster and thinking your taste is like better than everybody else. And we're like so past that. I'm just like,
such a simpler time.
2000 late.
Like
2000 late.
When I think of that, I'm thinking of the panel discussion as a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, for sure.
Bro, let's go,
I will
bro,
not
let's,
comment. I can't
let's
make
go.
a comment on that.
Let's go to the panel discussion. That'll be tight.
Which,
Yeah, I remember when
mean,
I was in art school too.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Rick, I mean, to throw in us a little bit, like, I mean, I feel like this is us. That's what we wanted to do with our brunch here, is to kind of remove some and have a little bit more fun. The chat, like, we've got homies in the chat who are jumping in here. You know, we're all very, we're against the pretension, and we're talking about Doritos for God's sake. But I mean,
no, I think I think
very
that
aligned with that.
For me, like the same something just came up when we were talking about that is that like for late 20s and early 30s people, like pretension is like the new cringe. And I often
totally.
think about like when I was in high school or like middle school, like I was cringy because I was just a fucking kid, right? And like that's just how it goes. But then like when I started to have some personal sovereignty and choice, I decided to use it to like superficially inflate my ego through my like painting skills and art historical knowledge and my ability to be a complete idiot savage in critiques. And then it's like and now I feel like I'm getting far enough away from that and still in the art world that I'm like, oh, my art pretension was like the most cringe and like early 20 late, whatever you said, 20 and late.
As Fergie said, right?
Fergie said, 2000 late. Sorry.
Yeah, I think something I think about a lot is like with art, you know, like okay, like going to the movies is an activity that anybody, like most people enjoy. Lots of people enjoy going to a Cardinals game. Like lots of people enjoy going to a concert. And I often am questioning, why is it that like, what is it about like going to an art museum or an art gallery that is like for a lot of people like a niche thing? Like, oh, I don't know, that's, you know, like for many people that I know, they would be like, oh, I don't know anything about art, so I don't go to the art gallery. But like, you don't have to know anything about pandas to enjoy going to the zoo. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I'm always thinking about what is that there. I think it's the weird pretension around like the art world.
It feels like elitist.
It feels elitist, and so I feel
pandas
like I'm
are
constantly.
Cute.
Yeah, it's like
It's an easy sell.
Any knowledge of anything can enjoy going to the zoo. So why can't anybody with any knowledge of whatever enjoy going to an art museum and not feel like they can just go to it and look at the art and be like, this is cool. I like this one. I don't like this one.
I think
like
that
this
is
panda. I don't like the giraffes. You know, like
fuck giraffes.
This is a very anti-giraffe show. For sure.
I think I have giraffe
I
on
think
my
that's
shirt.
I think it's a leopard.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even brought up the power clashing here. We've got lots of patterns going on here.
We are power clashing.
It's quite
but yeah,
good.
I guess in summation, that is what I mean by the anti-pretension thing. Is I would love to live in a world where an art museum, an art gallery is like as casual and chill as going to the movies or the zoo or a baseball game, and
You
a
are
thing that everyone can enjoy doing.
You are teeing this next tweet up so perfectly. It's insane, Rick. Let's do the MoMA
Right,
one.
bring it on. Bring on the tweet.
Because you literally just said like the movies, and so MoMA on May the 4th tweeted this heinous image, in my opinion, of Starry Night by Van Gogh with what is this? Was it an AT? An
AT-AT?
I believe it's
walking
AT-AT,
through.
yes.
Yeah, and that's an
now
ATST in the background probably.
Oh, okay. See, real heads.
Oh, yeah,
This
there's a
will-
little
we
AT.
got you guys.
Yeah, there it is.
It's like the
I'm like,
only
oh,
two Star
so-
Wars thing I know at all.
Well,
So,
perfect.
go
Thank
ahead.
God we figured this out. So I feel like this is an extremely unpretentious post. I think this is attempting to bring more people into the fold. It's referring to like one of the most popular films of all time and adding it to one of the most famous pieces of art of all time. And I completely agree with you that like I think that pretension is dumb and is just really it's not helpful. But I see this and this makes me want to die. And
You're
I
like,
don't.
but I don't stand for this.
But this is cringe, even though it's not pretentious. So I'm like, what is it? And I'm curious in our conversation that is making me, not that you, I'll be the victim here. I'll be the one you guys analyze. You guys
You're
don't
like,
have to.
tell me why I feel this way.
Why do I hate this with everything about me? Why do I hate it? And how do you feel?
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I think it is it's like shilling. Like it's like obvious like pandering.
Pandering, yeah.
To,
Pandering.
like it's telling the audience that they are. I feel like this is telling the audience that they're stupid and can't appreciate probably the most accessible and appreciated painting like ever.
Yeah.
Like you can't appreciate this without this pop cultural reference. Like, which is ridiculous because, you know, Star Wars is pretty cool. I don't love Star Wars, but
It's
cool. It's cool for sure. No,
you haven't ever even seen Star Wars,
I've
have you?
never actually seen Star Wars.
That's fine. We're not going to shame you for that.
Yeah, we don't care. We're not that kind of show. What you had? What? Yeah, we're not that show.
Well, bro, when Luke had when he had the thing,
when he had the thing, bro, that was crazy.
and it was his
right?
dad. The whole. Sorry, spoiler alert.
This reminds me of one of my favorite terms. Have you guys heard the word toyetic?
No.
Ooh.
It's a word that is used to describe movies that are like that were like made for the merchandising. Like it's really it's very often used for whatever the Batman movie from the 90s with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze in it.
Mm-hmm.
People call it like stupid. They're like, this is a toyetic movie. This was obviously like the movie was made to sell Mr. Freeze toys.
For sure.
Pretty
sick.
Like the McDonald's glass mug tie-in and
Right.
stuff.
To me, this is chuggy.
Oh, wow. Okay, everyone drink now, and actually take a big drink because that's the first time that word's ever been used on this show. So thank you, Lord, for that. Really quick, for our friends at home, do you want to explain chuggy and what the hell that's all about?
Chuggy is a new term that Gen Zers? No, not Gen. Yeah, Zoomers are using to like make fun of like millennials and all of the like really goofy tastes that we have. And I think chuggy is in reference to like it's like when you see chuggy, you just know it. It's kind of hard to describe. This is definitely chuggy. I think chuggy is also like Disney adults, like Live, Laugh, Love is chuggy. Like I think it's kind of just a different word for like basic. Like that's something people used to call like, oh, that's basic, but now it's chuggy.
But I saw a thing saying like
or like cringy. I don't know, cheesy.
When you told me about chuggy, I looked it up and I saw
the New York Times wrote an article about it, and that's chuggy.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a performance piece. Yeah.
Someone's like, not chuggy, thrifting, Birkenstocks, tarot, and I'm like, that stuff is all chuggy. What are you talking? I mean, thrifting is a great way to find stuff, and I have a pair
no,
of
thrifting's
Birkenstocks,
not chuggy. Thrifting's cool.
but tarot is.
We draw the line at tarot.
Wow.
Mad chuggy vibes. Let it be known. Surprised the chat's not blowing up. We've got big tarot followers, big chuggy fans.
Oh yeah. I'm glad that we're starting to get attacked directly.
No, this is perfect.
The millennials are starting to come under fire. I want to learn from it.
And I think it's a good thing. I think millennials, as a millennial, I think we need to be put in our place a little bit.
And
I think we're getting a little big for our britches. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I think that
I
like
agree with
if somebody would call anything that I'm into chuggy, I would just rebut that it's actually just based. And and I think that's kind of like the reverse Uno card.
It really is. Like, no, I think it's base, bro.
Like, is it more?
Yeah, and then Rick, all you need to do is go, sheesh. And then they're like, okay, you're cool, bro.
You
Yeah,
know what else is
good.
based?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ray Gun Inc. says chat is chuggy.
Is the chat
We got too many Zoomers in the chat right now.
Yeah, chat is so over.
I'm also I'm a TikTok like scroller. I don't make TikToks, but I watch TikTok all the time. So I feel that's like my way of trying to like be like, oh, I know what the Zoomers are into. I'm on TikTok. So
What's up, fellow kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
The skateboard over your shoulder. Exactly. Precisely.
TikTok will find you out. You are not getting the same FYP as Zoomers are. I can tell you
No,
that
that's
much.
true. I mean,
Yeah, they're
that,
gonna start serving you like ads for like garden equipment. and
Yeah.
stuff.
oh, I mean, yeah, mine's well,
That's
and
why
just
I love TikTok. I don't get served ads.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
do. That's
we
what's
do.
so good about it. That wasn't an ad. That was a video.
No, it was a video. It's fine. It's great. Yeah,
That's
I don't
good.
know. It's a good space to be. I think it's good to be on the table. You know what I mean? Like you're accountable
Yeah.
and like you're
Yeah.
you're never no one's everything is on the table. You know, and that's the way I like to think about it. And MoMA, I think, posted cringe here.
Well-
if I'm being honest.
Yeah, cringe.
This is cringe.
Couldn't
I mean,
cringe.
like couldn't the MoMA just get like a piece from the Star Wars set and like put it in their collection and just show a
Right.
fucking picture of that and just like be done with it every year? Like just make that investment and then you're like, oh yeah, we got one post a year from from this piece of Starship Enterprise and then you just move on.
Yeah. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, I feel like museum professionals, I feel for them. It's a very hard life. I I didn't want to out anyone, but I just wanted to say, like, I get it, and they get sent shit that they have to post. It's a whole thing, but just like, man, I don't know what's happening to our
Yeah.
culture that
Use-
feels that
use social
MoMA,
media.
I mean, it's
intense.
MoMA. Like, it's not like some other place that I won't name or something just to like put them down, but I feel like I don't know, it's wild. And I will say,
Yeah.
I was that kid who had a Starry Night print in his room his whole life. And then when I finally went to MoMA and saw Starry Night, like, I didn't know it was coming around the corner. And then I saw it, and then like I was taken aback. So it's not even like the power of it is still very much there. It just so like I appreciate it to some degree, but
Mhm.
I don't know. This is an abomination.
Slam had the other Starry Night in a show recently. What was that show? I can't remember what it was called.
The German show.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
I know what
cool.
you're talking
They
about.
had the Starry Night that Van Gogh said was his favorite Starry Night. It wasn't
Oh.
the MoMA one, but it was like
Storm of Progress was the show.
Storm of Progress. That was a good show.
Yeah, it was good. Even though it was
Oh.
like they're
But
they're
it was
like,
a good Starry Night. It was cool. It was cool to see it in person.
We got it in the chat.
Yeah.
Software for girls.
Oh yeah, Marissa knows.
Yes. Millet and modern
Storm of
art.
Progress.
Millet, am I saying
Malay
that right?
and Modern Art.
Yes.
Millet.
Oh yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
Storm of
Millet.
Progress. It was Malay and Modern Art.
yeah, that was also a good show.
That was a good
I
show.
liked both of them. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
I like
Um,
Slam's shows.
Denise
Also-
Denise
yeah.
says it's cringe because it's from the MoMA. If it was a shirt at Journeys, then albeit.
That is like the line.
Yeah, this does
Mom.
look like it could be like on a Vans. Like
Yeah.
Vans shoot.
No. Okay. Shout out to my mom. That's my mom in the chat. Hello, Mom. Love you. That is the line. We didn't even have a conversation. We just needed my mom's post in our Chugi chat. So anyway,
Yeah.
rounded out
chat.
perfect. Thank
The
you,
last
Mom.
tweet, Chugi or not, why does every fast food restaurant now look like Frank Geary's house from 1978?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
We can see these pics.
Any new art? Here's my next hot take to blow up the chat.
Okay, let's go.
All new architecture is ugly and bad.
No new
including
buildings.
fast foods.
All.
No new buildings at
No new
all.
buildings.
Society has progressed past the need for new buildings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure,
I mean,
for sure.
That's a St. Louis perspective, I think.
yes, that makes sense. Although, I mean, that 100 building that's got built in the Central West End,
Yeah.
do we like it?
Wait, are you talking about the fucking
The
the
shuttlecocks.
shuttlecocks?
The yeah.
Lauren
I'm
doesn't.
leaving.
I actually kind of do like that building.
I
like-
hate that building. Not as
I
much as I
mean-
hate the what's the building in the Grove?
the Chroma building.
I hate the Chroma building.
I think
Chroma developer, if you're out there, I hate you.
Oh, is
I
that
bet it was
the
a person. Yeah.
Soul Taco building?
yeah, what
Yeah.
Takashima Records is and stuff.
Mm.
I
That
that is
box.
like
Weird.
I think definitively
ugliest
the worst
building.
building in St. Louis.
Yeah, and a
Yeah,
very
everything about
prominent location.
Yes.
Yeah. I recently wrote in on Tashara, the mayor of St. Louis, if any non-St. Louisans are watching, put out like a survey about what to do with all of this like money we're getting for COVID. And I wrote I wrote in the comments, I was like, Tashara, please no new buildings. Could we not spend any more money on any new buildings? We have so many gorgeous, beautiful, vacant homes. I'm like, for the love of God, can we just fix up those homes and like serve our houseless community? put them in there, and stop building luxury condos.
No luxury.
No
development
luxury
ever.
condos.
Cease the issuing of any luxury building permits.
I don't know how we got on this topic.
You can
Now I'm
start.
like, no.
Well, it's because we have Frank Gehry McDonald's is
Yeah,
now, you know,
right.
like I mean,
Yeah,
that's what's
architecture is
happening in this world.
Some like weird corporate bait and switch technique.
Yeah,
That-
well, that Wendy's on Hampton is like
It's clean.
so contemporary. It's like a small contemporary gallery, like all the windows and like it's you know, and like in a way this is kind of cool, like the future I want to live in. But like
Yeah.
now that it's Wendy's, you know, it's the Star Night with Star Wars not on the Journey shirt, I guess. You know,
You
I
know
don't
what?
know.
I
It's
think-
in MoMA now. Like what?
Something about it being a fast food restaurant looking like this makes it like less offensive to me than if it was like a stupid apartment building where they have like these like, little boxes for some ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
that-
think
I
being
would
a McDonald's
rather-
makes it better.
Yeah, I would rather have this ridiculous aesthetic used on a McDonald's than because that's kind of funny, I think, than on like some rich asshole's like apartment.
Or like a Sweet Green or something, or like a Shake
Yeah.
Shack. Like we don't gain
Yeah.
anything from.
Yeah.
We need Frank
Yeah.
Gehry McDonald's. Like that's what I want. I want a Frank Gehry McDonald's.
I'm just looking forward to the day when, you know, capitalism comes full circle and the cities die out again, and then all of the artists move into the postmodern McDonald's for their galleries and living spaces. Raygun in the chat says, I think that Wendy's looks exactly like the Slam expansion. Leave that review on Yelp.
There you go. For real.
All right, well, I think we got to take a break here. Take our first break of the day. It's 11:02, so we're going to take 10 minutes and freshen up, and we'll be back at 11:12.
Beautiful.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
This project started to coalesce. I started to realize that travel agents and travel agencies first are going away. And I think that those words and that term and the beauty of that is so nice that I don't ever want it to leave. I don't want it to be replaced with Expedia. So I felt like kind of a personal responsibility as an artist to take care of that gray space of like what is going to happen to this word, what is going to happen to these terms, and find something that really feels like it fits it. So the travel agency operates kind of on this principle that many people who engage with the contemporary art community are tourists. And it's very difficult for people traveling to a new place for the first time to feel comfortable in that space. And the thing that the travel agency does, or travel agents do, is they use their expertise to translate local culture and norms to a tourist, to a visitor. And the process of giving that to them and making it clear to them is a way of like welcoming them into these beautiful new experiences.
But it's funny that you bring up Kiki's now, Kiki Salem's piece, which I feel like is totally so much different than Elle's piece.
Right.
You know, this one feels very, it is meant to be empowering and implicating the viewer and the reader in a very direct way. So I feel like, you know, yeah, and maybe more people took pictures of themselves in front of Kiki's piece because of that empowering aspect of it.
Yeah.
Also, I guess we can like talk a little bit too about like the digital audience. Like I think Kiki's particularly, this one was like reshared so many times, and was just like, it was really cool to see how far it spread that way. Yeah, they didn't have to be there, you know, to take a photo. They could just share the image that we took. But for them, it was like sharing her PSA.
There are a couple of things. Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was kind of the most contrast of like this is one that I saw a lot more interaction with on social, or a lot more people kind of like being a part of this image. I feel like this speaks, like this is one that you step into and you can own this message for yourself and engage in this message for yourself. And there are a couple of other things that change with this one. The banner style of the text is very unique and divergent for the scope of what we see PSA typically do. And and then I'm not actually sure of the timing of this, but I think that looking at this one and then also looking at Jessie Donovan's billboard, and thinking about them as like similar materials as well. So there's like this banner material, and then this like I think most often billboards are kind of like this tarp-like banner, vinyl tarp material, and we have a detail of it here. Okay.
That's hand embroidery by Kiki.
Oh, wow.
That was a nice touch that she added to it as well.
Yeah.
Kiki works a lot with fiber arts, so
yeah,
makes
maybe
sense.
that's why we were kind of drawn to working on, or we talked about doing banners with her, and she was really on board. She also like does tapestries in her work and a lot of fiber, so I think
But
it
also-
really makes sense.
A big part of the banner decision for Kiki's work was because we wanted to accommodate the Arabic text, and so the way our infrastructure set up, it would have been difficult to cut out the Arabic text and place that. It wouldn't have fit on the wires so well, so that's why we opted for a banner approach.
That there are a lot of portrait work, but then there's also a lot of graphic design with some 3D elements on there. I'm looking. Do you see the one that I'm showing right now?
Yeah, I can see that. That's titled either Ritual 1 or Ritual 2, but they're kind of based off me looking into like historically, like coming from like African roots, how we like use rituals like throughout time as Black people, whether it's from Africa, the Caribbean, like American Black people. I feel like regardless of where you're located, like the idea of like ritual and like spirituality has always like played a huge part in the culture as a whole. So this is me kind of like not direct. This is not like a direct like, oh, this comes from this spiritual practice, but it's definitely like a shout out to spirit boards and divination and like the different ways that we would use like fortune telling and different things like that. So this is kind of like a representation of that practice, like having shapes and like in different tribes in Africa, like they'll paint shapes on their houses and on their huts to represent certain ideas, whether it's like goddesses or representing protection or whatever. So this is like my take on symbols that to me represent protection, but also historically, like the triangle, the pyramids, or the idea of the eye and like mirrors, like reflecting back to you. So it's a lot of that, like a lot of personal interpretation about like divination and spirituality, but also like historical as well.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Club Stars Line. I'm your co-host, Jake Leach, and to my left on your screen is my mom, Denise Hewlett. Hi, Mom. How are you doing?
Oh, hi, son. How are you? We ready to do
I'm doing
this
quite
today?
peachy. Yeah, we're going to do this today. Well, so a lot has happened. I'm already out of breath. My God, we're just so hype in this. Mom, you're kind of somewhere else. The people can't really see, but we've got you're actually in space. It looks like.
Yeah.
So you're looking back onto the planet. Did you take like a Tesla rocket? Are you at the International Space Station? Where are you exactly right now?
That is a view of the Earthrise. And no, I am not in the space station. I am in my transit van in the high desert in Joshua Tree, California. That's where I'm from. Shall we go ahead and show people? Should we
Yes,
do the
show
big
people where you're at. Let's take a look
Let me
here.
go ahead and let's go open the van door.
Okay. Good.
Kind of bright, y'all. Can you see it?
Yeah,
can
Mom,
we
here,
see-
bring your computer over so people can kind of see.
Am I doing the right?
Yeah,
too far, too?
that's. Why don't you go out and stand in it real quick, Mom, just to prove that it's not a green screen.
Hello, y'all.
Exit the van entirely. Go. This ain't no joke, y'all. Yeah, there she is, out in the world. We love to see this. Yes, bye, Denise. My mom said, or my mom, little Miss Gabby says, we got the chat blowing up over here.
Oh my goodness.
Ghost riding
All
the
right.
whip over here. So.
Okay, so we will be checking on the sunset periodically over the next hour and a half, but right now it is blazing, so I need to close it. So here we go.
Okay, yes. Get that door closed here, nice and cool.
Yeah. Yes. Although, speaking of blazing, I also have my, can you see this?
Yeah, what do we have
I
here?
have my UFO incense thing going. So just to complete the whole thing, you know.
It's a full sensory overload, a full sensory experience you have going on here.
Isn't that interesting, Jake? Isn't that gonna? Yes, isn't that interesting?
Is
Keep
that
in
something that
mind.
might come up later on?
That might, exactly.
Okay.
So here we go. Now this is gonna be loud. Okay,
All right,
all
here we
the-
go, friends.
Yeah, okay, ready?
Everyone cover your ears. Okay. Ooh, goodness.
I'm just going to come back into the wide view. Why not? We're all here. We're all ready. I don't have anything particularly to monologue about. I feel like our quadrilogue has been good enough. Welcome back to the show. Right before we went to break, JP Stulin had this great comment in the chat. University of Nevada, Las Vegas MFA studios are in a former Carl's Jr. No. Mm-hmm.
Of a Taco Bell, and it was really, really cool. And his paintings were the inside of a burrito, right?
Yeah,
sorry,
they were so.
we had some
sorry,
audio
y'all.
issues there for a
Hold
second.
on.
Can you repeat what you were saying?
Can you repeat everything you just said? So sorry.
Yes. Starting from where? The Taco Bell?
Taco Bell, yeah.
The Taco Bell place, yeah.
So there, a couple years ago
Sorry.
in Cahokia, Illinois, which is just across the river, this artist Eric Wesley had an art gallery inside of an old Taco Bell, and it was like one of the really old Taco Bells where they had that like there was like a specific architecture where you could like recognize the building.
Yeah.
You're just like, that's a Taco Bell, you know what I mean,
Right.
without even
Kind of stucco. on it,
yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
stucco, yeah, and
The
it was
cool
really
windows
cool. And his paintings were
sometimes.
the inside of a burrito was the paintings inside. It was really great. And he
Wow.
made a corn maze as well.
Yeah, he grew corn in a
hell
maze. And then I went to a ceremony that he did where he turned the corn, he harvested the corn stalks and turned them into a goat and burned it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was cool. I'm always, yeah, it's like, I think it's very, very cool to have art spaces in unusual
food
Former
restaurants.
Taco Bell. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at this. So you can see the facade here. Maybe.
Yeah, let's see this.
Where was it?
We
And
can
it's
see
inside
Oh.
of, what did he say, a Carl's Jr.?
Yeah.
That's a Hardee's, right?
Yeah.
We've got this
An
I
old
would
Hardee's.
call that
Yeah.
a Hardee's.
this rendition
Yeah.
here of it. It's so weird to
It's
know
pretty
that
good.
that's what it is. Let's see I think I was trying to find the inside. Photos of the
You got
inside.
images. Beautiful.
Open studios.
Well, so is that a plan for
pretty cool.
Coons someday to take over like a former Burger King or something? Like use a drive-through somehow? I think that you guys would
know
really
what?
know what to do with that.
No, because the best part of Cunst is that we don't have to pay anything for Cunst besides our mortgage for the home that we live in.
Yeah,
For sure.
That's a big thesis of Cunst, is that it, we don't have to like take any resources away from, I don't know, we don't have to like apply for grants or anything. Like we're not we don't need any funding. So it's really nice.
For
We
sure.
can just kind of continue to do whatever we want.
It's kind of
looks
a
pretty
business,
nice. They made it
some
look pretty
business
nice.
tactics. You gotta.
Yeah,
It's
business
not about the money you spend. It's about the money you don't spend. It's
Exactly.
especially out here in
Exactly.
these art world streets. I mean, it gets rough. You gotta.
It gets
really
rough.
be-
I know. Well, and that's Well, I'll save it. I'll save it for later in the chat. Never mind. I was about to get into the impetus of what started Cunst, but I'll wait.
Oh, I mean, we're
I
there.
mean that we're live. We're here. Let's do it. I mean, that's this portion of the show. That's what we're here for.
We're there. Well, it ties in. Yeah, I was gonna say, sort of the origin of Cunst was that a lot of art spaces in St. Louis like come and go pretty frequently. I assume for the most part because of cost associated with like renting a building. So like Grease 3, we loved Grease 3. All of those galleries down on Cherokee, like what was it? I mean, it was Fort Gondo, but then Beverly, and then I think something else too. And those spaces closed. Again, I don't know exactly why, but I assume it had to do with like funding and costs of like just renting a storefront to have a gallery. And so I don't know, we were just like, we could have a gallery in our house where we pay to live, but we don't have to pay for anything extra. So I don't know, it just kind of like made sense
Yeah.
to do it. You can just do it for free. And then you have free reign to do whatever you want.
And great decor all the time.
And great decor all the time. Yeah,
The
bricks and
ultimate.
Coons. Rotating decor. It forces us to do like a deep clean of our house every like 6 weeks.
Okay.
Because we clean really hardcore for the opening, so it forces us to stay very tidy.
Yeah, and a really deep clean, like because we move all the furniture out, so we get those hard to
No
reach.
clutter.
hard
We're
to
very
reach
like
places.
we are maximalist, but we are minimal in our clutter. I would say
No
we're not
clutter.
very cluttery people.
You're meeting the perfect
Not
threshold.
important
The
for running
intersection of.
a house gallery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anytime you
Well-
get something else for your living room, you're like, do we really want to move this every 6 weeks?
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty like minimal living room because we're like, well, we know that we have to move all of this every 6 weeks for an opening. So
And the chair rail that goes around the room, did you all paint that pink or was it?
Yes.
Okay. Because that
we painted
painted
it
it
pink.
pink.
We bought this pink for our bedroom and it looked very bad. We painted a whole wall and we decided we didn't want to do it. So we had this leftover nice like baby, as you can see, sort of the soft like baby pink.
it's so good.
So and
Such a good touch.
Kunst's unofficial theme color is baby pink. So we're like, this is perfect. So this is our
that kinda
little
worked out.
touch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
gallery.
just gonna show.
We've got some
I
great photos
I
here.
thought that was just a really nice touch. I don't think I noticed it when I was in the space, but when I was looking at the photos, I was like, "There's no way that was an accident, or it was the inspiration." But it's not your first space, so how could it be the inspiration for it, right? Okay, so like maybe let's just start from like the decision making process. Like what was the decision making process? Was it like a joke or like a meme in your relationship for a while, something fun to think about and play around with, and then it crystallized, or did it have a different birth?
Yeah, I think we were planning to move in together, and I lived in a really cool apartment in Benton Park before we moved into this house. And it was just a big apartment that had like a really big living room and a really big kitchen and really high ceilings and lots of large walls. And so, yeah, we had been, we were both like, well, Lex is an artist. I'm not, but, we've like go to art shows. We're like part of the art community here. And we, like I was saying, like just kind of discussed like, I don't know, all these places shut down. It's such a bummer. Like it seems like it's hard for art spaces to stay alive, to have funding in St. Louis, anywhere, I guess. And we were just like, well, we have this apartment. We have all these walls.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to pay anything extra for it. Why don't we start our own gallery?
Yeah.
And then we did.
And that was it.
Would you add anything to that? I don't
No.
know. That was pretty
All right, great show, guys. This was fun.
we
We
didn't
can go.
really think about it too much. We just kind of said we're gonna do this, and then we did it.
I think you said like, hey, when you move into my place, we should start a gallery in there. And I said, yes, that's a great idea. I've wanted to do a house gallery, but never got around to it.
And then the origin of the name, I feel like, is funny. We told this on the Cool Bit podcast, so sorry if anybody listened to Cool Bit and they already
Shout
heard
out to the homies,
story. But
for
we
sure.
were trying to figure out what the name could be. For a while, we were like toying with something with like our initials, but it didn't really make sense. And Lex said, like, oh, we could call it Cunst, like, you know, the German word for art, and be really boring. And I said, oh, what if it was Kunst with a C? And in my mind, I was fully thinking that the S and the T were switched, and that would just spell the word cunts. And Lex was like, that's a great idea. We should do that. And I was like, we can't call ourselves the Cunts Gallery. We can't. That's like, do it. Like, I was joking. We can't do that.
Bold enough.
And then Lex was like, no, the S and the T are switched. It doesn't say that, but it looks like it. And that's literally it. That's all there is to the name. It's just a joke.
It would have been a much different gallery.
Yeah, that's a whole other kind of
Well,
lifestyle
that was like a
for
little
sure.
too intense. That was a bit much. And I will say, I actually had some hesitations, even just calling it the Kunst Gallery, because I was like, this just looks really vulgar. But you know what?
Yeah.
Rolled with it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And now we have. I'm gonna go grab a sticker. Actually, carry on
Yeah.
the conversation
Ooh,
so I can tell about our stickers.
Yeah, and you know, the drippy font was just, I feel like that's just a really cool way to write letters, and I think that everything should be in a drippy font.
And now we have these funny stickers that say "I heart
wow.
Kunst," which looks like it says something else, but we're
Very
simple
bold.
folks over here.
Very bold. I believe you guys shared on your story, our Marina, our bestie from Cool Whip, has one on her phone already. She's committed
Yes, she
the
does.
sticker
Sent me
to the
that photo
phone. I mean,
I believe a porta potty in Creve Coeur Lake.
hell
She
yeah.
just said repping Kunst in the Creve Coeur Lake porta potty, and I immediately said, "May I share this on our story? This is a great. This is a great photo." She said, "Yes." Shout out, Marina.
Shout out to the Cool Whip crew. Great to
Yes.
have them. Well, I'm so curious too. Like, have you all? Is there like some inspiration of like former like house or apartment galleries that you'd been in prior to you opening yours that kind of, I wouldn't say directly, but like something maybe felt, a bit maybe of soft inspiration perhaps
Yes.
for doing it yourself?
I moved here from Oakland in 2016, and people get really creative with where to have art spaces there, just because the real estate prices are so ridiculous. There was this place, I didn't even go there that often, but I just thought it was cool. It was called Nook Gallery, where it was in someone's house. They had a little breakfast nook in their kitchen, and that was the gallery. And I thought that was a really funny and cool idea, because it was like, they didn't even make the house look, it literally felt like just going into someone's house, and then there was like a corner of the kitchen that had art in it. And there just kind of were a lot of spaces in, some people would have like a window in a storefront. Like there's a gallery that's in the basement of a dry cleaner that was very cool, very well known. And it was just kind of like this long, skinny hallway in a basement. People had like a apartment. I think that some people like rented an actual apartment to use it as a gallery. But
Wow.
it just seemed, when back then I was just like, this is just such a smart and cool way to do this. Like, it feels so much more fun than going, because I was also going to like these big commercial gallery openings where it's like very where it actually is functioning as like a high-end like store for art as home decor. But yeah, it just seemed like without any overhead, and it's in your own house, you can, like, it just gives you so much freedom. And I feel like it makes the opening or the event just feel like fun and intimate, and just like more like hanging out with your friends that maybe don't see that often. Everyone in the art community kind of has like their like group of friends, but then every couple weeks or something, we all gather at an art space to chill with each other.
I had not been to a house
I
before this, so
okay.
Lex
really?
had all these experience. Yeah,
Mhm.
I hadn't been to one. I know that there have been some in St. Louis, but I had never been to one before.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
there's
Oakland has that resourcefulness. I think that's like the spirit of that
Yeah.
scene, from what I understand.
Yeah, there was people have done like pop-up house galleries here. I went to one called like the Nail Salon a few years ago.
Brandon Bandy did
Yeah,
that.
that
Shout
was-
out Brandon
Oh,
Bandy.
Yeah, that was a really cool show because I think he was moving.
Yeah, I think that's what I think he was like moving out of his house, and he was like, "Well, I have this empty house
Yeah,
for like a
one
week
night
or whatever."
only.
So yeah, one night only show.
That's the vibe. I mean, shout out to Brendan.
Yeah.
I love Brendan's work.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I personally come from like the more of like the DIY music scene. So like the idea of the house show is very part and parcel with that scene and that
Yeah.
life. So like
Yeah.
seeing your guys' space, it was just kind of like a, oh duh, okay, yeah. Like why wouldn't it just also be art? And I mean, I've been to plenty of like grimy basement shows where there had been art around, or maybe like, hey, like if some friend is selling prints upstairs or something. But I guess like, but are there methods to like like kind of bridging that gap of like gallery, capital G, but with the lower G in an apartment that like does the artists, I think, a due service, because they've made all this work, but then also to have it like kind of balance that line between, again, like cringe, is it chuggy, the chuggy line, how do you guys
We don't wanna
balance
be
that
chuggy.
space? Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like,
we try to make it look like a gallery for the openings.
yeah, for the opening, we want it to look nice. We wanted to we obviously want to give the artists like a nice platform to do this. Like, we've been
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm in a very silly mood this morning, but we take this seriously.
Yeah.
Like we're
Absolutely. Yeah.
but we take it seriously, and we want
Yeah.
we want this to be a space. I guess something we haven't said yet is with Cunst, like we really specifically try to show people who haven't shown at all, or like haven't shown very much in St. Louis or in the community. We try to find people that are maybe like either like emerging or hobbyists. Like Sarah, Sarah's a great example. She's a teacher. Like her career as a teacher. She's not like a career artist, but she began painting like every day during the pandemic, and she follows these like art prompts. And she's just a friend of ours. And so when we, she was sharing on Instagram every day these paintings that she was making. And so we thought when we were reopening that it would be such a great like post-pandemic. I mean, we're not post-pandemic, but first show reopening from the pandemic to show like all the work that she's made in quarantine. So yeah, I think it's just I don't know. It's just fun. It's nice to like not really have any restrictions, I guess. Like we can kind of just show whoever we want, and again, because we're not relying on like funding, or we're not like a nonprofit relying on like donors, or like we don't have a board or anything. Like we can just sort of go with whatever feels right in the moment to show.
Yeah, like I feel like part of what we're trying to do here is to continually expand like the art scene here and make it just like rope more artists in. Like, I mean, I think one way that, at least when I look at our shows, like to see if they've been successful or not, is like, how many like connections did the artists make after it? Like we went to what was that gallery, Huska Gallery in the Central West End, like, a while ago. And it was just really awesome to see there were so many people who like had shown at Cunst who hadn't shown before, and now they're like selling stuff at Huska Gallery. Like there was a bunch of like Sam Watkins had like a bunch of paintings there that were in our house, and it was just like I feel like just that it like that makes me feel really good to know that the artists are and then the artists will often like form connections with each other and like go on to do another. I think Pat Owen did a show at like Flow Valley or something.
Yeah.
After his show here.
And also like, we're able to just like make friends from it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
for sure.
Putting it very simply, but like we, I don't know, we went up to Pat Owen is an artist from Columbia, and we found him on Instagram actually. We didn't know him. Found him on Instagram. We loved his work. And we just reached out to him. We said, "Are you interested in doing this?" He drove down from Columbia, brought his artwork, and then we were able to bring it back up to him. And then we just like hung out with him for the day in Columbia, and it was really fun. So we were like,
Yeah.
we're like making connections. We're
Mhm.
trying to talk him into moving to St. Louis.
Ooh, okay.
This Pat, move to St. Louis.
So
I'm putting that out there in public, Pat Owen.
yeah. Yeah, and that I think that gets kind of to what I see as the core of this project that y'all are doing is its place in the community and what it can do as a tool and a resource for the community. And it seems, I think everyone would agree that y'all do it exceptionally well. So I think I'm curious, like, for people who maybe are not so inside of it like we all are, like we kind of like live in that world of knowing lots of people or being in proximity to lots of different artists at certain times, but like what does the community aspect of it have to do? Because it doesn't seem like some galleries are very like art all the way up here, and like community is like behind closed doors with the collectors probably, you know, and trying to like make money and sell for the artists, but the openings are like quiet and maybe they have like a bottle of red wine. But like why is like the community part of this project for you like nearly level with kind of the art the art exhibition part of it?
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely fair. Like, I would agree with that statement. Like, the community aspect is as important as like the artwork on the walls. I don't know. Do you want to answer first?
I think that we started Cunst, and part of what we're going for is just like really coming from a place of really appreciating the community that, you know, gathers around, you know, DIY art spaces. Like, you know, we loved Grease 3. GCAD has a really great community as well. And just like the opening is the show. Like, you can go and see the art like any other time. Like, they have open hours. We're only open by appointment, and we usually do get a few appointment people. But the like part of what's fun, part of the like a big part of the value of spaces like these are you know, the relationships that you have with people when you go to the opening, and you have a relationship with the artwork, but you also have a relationship with like the people who attend the show. And that's really what we wanted to foster.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just like, I don't know, it's nice to I feel like St. Louis is it's a city, but it's a small city. And so it's just kind of a nice way to offer like a space for like-minded people, I guess, to get together. Honestly, sorry, our dog is being very loud right now. Patsy, we're live right now, Patsy.
They know.
Patsy, get on screen if you're gonna join us.
Dogs know.
She's got her bone.
And another thing that we try to do, and we want to foster here is like both expanding the art community to just like show more artists and have like a big pool of artists who are exhibiting in St. Louis, but also attract people who are maybe not like part of the art scene to come to our shows. Like at our last show, Sarah, who's in our living room, brought like her entire family, which was really cool because it was like a multi-generational crowd. We try to show artists that like we also had people who, you know, didn't know us and didn't know either the artists and had just found out about us on the internet, which
from our public Facebook event. We got in trouble for.
That's wild.
I think they found out about us on Instagram.
Yeah, I guess so.
And they came. So I like, and you know, we have like a lot of friends who are, you know, they like art, but they're not like in the art scene, but they come to our shows too. And I think that it's cool to have that like mix of people at the show.
Yeah, and I think for artists, you know, again, like in St. Louis, it seems like it's a useful tool to be able to like network, I guess, not to make it like sound like businessy, but I don't know, yeah, just like having a space where people can get together and like talk about shows and like make plans and work together and collaborate, and yeah, so I all of that is to say, I definitely think the opening and like getting people to come to the opening and like hang out is definitely like as important as the art on the walls, because we just want, I don't know, just like it's just fun to have a party, I guess. Well, you
Yeah.
know, like
Well, and for
nice.
us, like
Yeah.
sometimes it's difficult to completely understand it because we're mixed into it, but having like those mixed audience spaces is not something that's standard. Like a lot of the galleries that operate here in St. Louis, they have like their crew and their crowd, and then like the artist brings with them people who are interested in their work, and then it just kind of like can go back to normal, right? And so like these groups that follow artists can kind of plug into these spaces, and then plug out, come out of these spaces, which is fine. But being able to, generate this mixed knowledge base, having the lower barrier of entry, it being like residential, again, some ways it's like the best of both worlds because it's cool because it's like edgy in this way of like uniqueness, but then also like it's a house, so there's not the same kind of like desire to dress up or feel like there's unknown etiquettes that you'll find at an opening at any of these other spaces. And I think I even talked with Marianne about that a little bit, is that like, although that GCAD is like very DIY and we all know them to be cool, like my mom would not go to GCAD. Like I don't think she doesn't like, I mean, maybe she would if I explained it, but she wouldn't find herself there, right? Because like GCAD has this certain like extraness about it, this like tactile feel to it that like you kind of have to understand more about how that space is real and why it's real to get the full vision of it. Whereas like when we talk about a space like in a residence, it's like, oh, it's a house. Like I hang paintings on my wall. Like that's very, very close to like a much broader experience.
Yeah. Something that's cool about GCAD is I feel like they do get a lot of like just people who are walking down the street.
They
They're
do.
like, what's this? And Marianne is really cool. It's like, it's an art gallery. Go inside. Like, welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing that we do that ties, about like this being our house is we always do install photography for our artists. We do one set of photos, like with the house as a gallery with everything moved out. But then we also do another set with all the furniture in there. Cause I mean, I just think it looks cool, but I also think it's like, that's how art usually lives. That's how art usually, exists in someone's house, just hanging. And it, we show it like at galleries with not being in that context.
Either a house or a Freeport.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think it's nice. I think it being in a house makes it feel less, I don't know. Our hope is that, I hope this is what translates, is that it feels like approachable. Like we want anybody to just feel like they can just walk in and hang out.
It's so interesting you say that because I felt like going to, like I was saying, DIY concerts and stuff. There's like, there was always like, I feel like I'm a very like Midwestern, like, oh, excuse you, gonna scoot right past you kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like I actually might feel slightly more uncomfortable being in someone's apartment or house because I'm like, I really don't want to mess anything up. I really don't want them to think I like stole something. However, there is some sort of comfort, and this is a really weird statement. It's like there's a shower. And like, not that I would ever need to take a shower at an art gallery, but just like knowing that like, if I just got, I don't know, something happened, there's a shower. Like we're good. We've got all the amenities you need. We're set up. It just feels like we're in a
If you
home.
ever need
It's
to take a shower, just let us know. Yeah, we can give you that space.
or just like, hey, and maybe see you guys. I love this idea, too. There's the gamification of like, you have new art in your house every 6 weeks or something, and then you have new ways to meet friends. Well, I think I'm going to gamify your spot and just go take a shower once every 6 weeks at your place, so I don't have to pay a water bill. So that'll just work out. We're gonna keep this thing moving.
Tub streams are real big on Twitch right now.
We'll do.
Do you guys know anything about the hot tub stream meta in Twitch right now?
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I'll just briefly tell you. So like for the longest time, certain streamers have been kind of amping it up, and now like hot tub streams have become like a popular way for streamers to talk with their their community on a regular basis.
Mhm.
And there's been a lot of backlash in the Twitch community because they're thinking, like, first of all, like, lots of children are here, and they're not really always supposed to be, but they are, obviously, because it's all video game content. So having like a recommended Minecraft stream right next to like a recommended bathtub stream is like kind of sus. So then recently they just created a whole new category called pools, beaches, and hot tubs. So now anybody who's streaming the category can go over there. So that's our next foray deeper into the Twitchverse is streaming in the pools, beaches, and hot tubs category.
Yeah, we should have done a live stream today, actually, from your shower. I
Yeah.
think that probably would have been
Right.
from the tub. Me and Rick should have hopped in there and really done this right. But
Software
next time.
for Girls says, I want to do a performance piece in your shower. Can I do a DJ set in your shower? So
Yes. We actually have a shower that is in our like first floor bathroom. So, and it's there's not like a step up. It's like a walk-in shower. What would you call it?
Yeah, it's not a tub. It's
not a
platform
tub.
shower.
It's a platform shower. So that would be perfect for a DJ set.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Good.
We'll get this set up.
So,
We'll get this happen.
Denise says Studio B.
Yeah.
Studio bathtub.
B.
Yeah.
That's good.
JP Stoolin says the hot tub in the People's Park is a piece everyone should read. So
Ooh.
we'll check that out.
I'm not familiar with that. We'll
I'm not
check that
familiar
out.
with it.
The hot tub in the People's Park.
Little Miss Gabby is in the chat. Yes.
Hello.
This,
Shout out.
This shower stream's getting everybody hyped up. Little Miss Gabby,
Yeah.
good to see you.
Let's talk a hot tub. Like,
We're gonna make it happen. Software for Girls. Software for Girls will DJ in the shower and I'll dance in the bathroom, says Little Miss Gabby.
Perfect.
And JP Stoolin says
I think
that piece is by Ted Pruvis, Lex and I's mentor.
nice.
You know what we could also do where talking about the shower DJ set.
Uh-huh.
So we could do it.
Do hype on
do
this.
it in the downstairs. So one option is we could do it in the downstairs bathroom.
Yep.
But another option is also have a shower in our upstairs bathroom. The shower has a window in it that overlooks the backyard, so it could be like a DJ, like a Tiesto style. Like
That would be really cool.
DJ, yeah, in the set.
Yeah,
shower.
if you open our window in the shower, like you could like, it's really funny because it's literally like full like torso.
Yeah.
It's a strange placement for a shower or for a window.
Mhm.
So you could definitely bear it all if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that, Marissa. You can wear clothes in the shower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at this. We're building community in the chat alone. I mean,
We're
this
building
is
community in the
it's,
chat.
That's what
I
it's
think,
about.
yeah. I mean, honestly, though, all
Right
these
here.
ideas, like something I will say is, running the house gallery is honestly very easy and doable, and like anybody can do it. And we are very full support of anybody running an art space out of their shower or home or whatever it is. Like all you need is a Instagram account or an email or like some way to get the word out. But if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, I think more people should do this because it's really fun. It's really easy.
It's very low key. Yeah.
Yeah, and it like just the community that you expose yourself to, like by doing it, is really because people always have these like weird, interesting ideas, and like if you have the space, people talk to you about it.
Yeah. So that's people. I feel like people are like very often like, this is crazy. Like you let people into your home, you do this, and like I feel your answer is always like, it's actually very easy. It's like not. It's very low stakes. I don't know.
I feel like people are also often very surprised by the fact that we move our. They're like, how do you move all your furniture out? I'm like, by picking it up and moving it into a different part of the house.
We keep it. Yeah. Like literally, all we move in here in this room right here is like a couch and the table we're sitting at and like a chair.
Yeah. Yeah, we just put it in our bed. Like in our old apartment, we would literally just shove everything into our bedroom and close the door.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And they're like, people are like, you live like this? And I'm like, no, we absolutely
Like, we
don't.
have furniture. We have a TV. We're normal human beings.
Yeah, we just move it out one night so people can come and see this as like a gallery.
Yeah.
And then we move immediately back.
Rick, I'm reminded with this part of the conversation when we talked to Marianne of GCAD, a question we asked her was there ever a piece that you guys like couldn't make happen, or there was something that like someone had an idea that you're like, we can try it, but I really don't know if this is gonna work, or and you know, we don't have to name names by any means, but I'm curious if you guys have run into a similar situation of like, man, this would be cool, but like this is a house, like we can like one has like the limits of house, like, you know, bumped up against for certain pieces people have in mind.
Not really. The only
Okay.
thing, like when Alexa showed, Alexa Clavillo, one of her pieces was like a beach chair with a sculpture on it, and the beach chair was set in the middle of the room for the opening. But yeah, he's pulling it up. Damn, you're fast.
Yeah,
And
Rick's not messing around.
oh, it's the one right below it, actually.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I see the yeah. So she had
There
a
we
yeah,
go.
that beach chair was like just in the middle of our living room, and so but it was very lightweight and like not super fragile. So we just moved it when it wasn't the opening, and then when people were coming over to see it, we just moved it back to the middle of the room, and that was it. Like we just kind of it's very simple stuff here.
Yeah,
and we just kind of work and figure out like ways that we can, you know, live in the space with the artwork.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like artists are really understanding about it being our house. I mean, you know, that's when we ask them, we say straight up, like, you know, we want you to think as big as you want, like anything that fits through the door you can do, just so long as we can move our furniture back, because we do have to live here. And they're pretty good. Actually, I think we were gonna keep a couple of the couches in the room, in the living room for our first show. And shout out to Liz Moore. She came in, she was just like, no, we're moving these out.
Yeah.
She's like, let's get rid of these now. Because she had this big, you know, she had a big piece on the wall, but then this kind of installation piece where she did like this grid of green tape all over the wall. And she had a very ambitious show. And, you know, her sculpture kept falling over. It was, she makes this one on the wall. Yeah, this one on the wall right there. That one kept falling over. So we had to like, we had to sort of like, continually reaffix it to the wall because it's very fragile. But yeah, I mean, like that was cool having like this installation element. Alex Klein also did kind of some installation-y things. He had like a plinth,
like a mantle.
Yeah, he had like a plinth to put stuff on. Yeah, so if you and that stick kept falling over. That was one thing. Like that thing fell over every day.
So yeah, we try to be like, if there's something really, I mean, the stick kept falling over, but it's like it's the handle of a mop, right?
Yeah, it was a mop.
So it's like not like a fragile sculpture, you know. Like if somebody was gonna put like a glass sculpture on our floor for the opening, we would maybe say like, I might not be that. Like we don't want your work to get wrecked. Like we try to, you know, be realistic with like what is safe. Like we obviously would never want to like damage anybody's artwork. So yeah, I feel like all of our artists have been really chill about just finding ways to make it work.
Yeah, the artists probably
really
should share that same feeling too. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't want that on the floor.
Yeah, they probably don't want their work to get wrecked. Yes, definitely.
Allie's stuff kept falling off the wall because we didn't really think it was in the winter time, so it was very dry. We didn't really think through how to fix it to the wall, so we had we had to like talk with her and be like, listen, can we please put a hole through this because your cardboard thing falls off the wall every day. And she was saying about it. She let us put a hole through it, and it was cool because we stuck it on with like tape and blue sticky stuff.
That only goes so far.
Man.
Yes, it only goes so far.
It only goes so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I would say one. In terms of install, the most challenging install I think was Pat came, and he's like Pat Owen is a really chill dude, and he came with all his paintings, and he was like, yeah, so you guys could just kind of put them like kind of however, like I'm thinking like a cluster, and then he left. Just sort of do it however. And
I remember this install.
I was very stressed out.
This
about
was
getting
honestly
it right.
like maybe one of our like first fights.
Yeah, we had a big argument.
We had very different ideas of how we wanted to like hang this artwork, and it was really stressful.
Yeah,
but it turned out beautiful.
Sam didn't want to install.
I loved this show so much.
Yeah, this show was really awesome. This show was the one. Was this the one where our porch burned down?
Yeah, this was the show where our porch burned down. You can tell that story if you want, Lex.
So
Oh my god.
yeah, so at the Sam Watkins and Pat Owen show, somebody was smoking cigarettes out on our back porch, and they put their cigarette out in like a plastic garden planter, and it melted and also melted a plastic chair and burned a hole in the porch at our old apartment.
Wow.
And like Lauren and I both woke up in the morning. We're like, who's barbecuing at like 5:30 in the morning?
Oh.
And then she got a text from our downstairs neighbor about how the porch had been on fire and someone had burned it down, and we had to go out with like a spatula and scrape this like melted lawn chair off of the patio.
Oh man.
And so we do still allow smoking, contrary to what anyone may have heard. What people said, they'll kick you out if you smoke, which is not true. We are I don't think that you should smoke for your own health, and it's very expensive, but you're allowed to smoke gallery outside just so long as you dispose of your cigarette in a safe way that isn't gonna burn stuff down and make a mess.
Wow.
Yeah, we said we're in a public beef with Cool Whip now. Put that on the record. Put that on the live. Cool Whip, we're in a fight.
Oh.
They called us narcs.
Narcs.
Nick and Marina are very good friends of ours. But
Wow.
Yeah.
They were teasing us on their last podcast
Yeah, they said we'll kick you out.
for our smoking rule.
Our rule is just we don't want you to burn down our home.
Yep,
That's
just
all.
I mean that's pretty
Good rule.
reasonable. Yeah. This is
Put
when
your
I wish I
cigarette
had the
out in, like,
soundboard. Get the soundboard with the ding ding ding. Yeah, right. Yeah, we can really get it going. Get the let's get ready to rumble
Shots
vibe. Yeah.
fired, not Cool Whip.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I'm really glad that your guys' whole porch didn't burn down and it was just kind of contained to a very small space. But
Our landlord was actually really, really chill about it.
really,
Our hot landlord.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We had a myth. We had the. This is a really important story that I
sexy
must
landlord. All right.
tell. The landlord at our last apartment was really hot guy. He was a firefighter. He was an older gentleman. And I kept telling everybody about how hot he was, but I couldn't find a photo of him anywhere on the internet, and nobody else ever saw him.
I saw him when he was building the
Oh, you
porch.
saw him?
I saw him when he was building the porch.
So everyone did. Nobody believed
he
me. They
looks
were
like
like, "Yeah,
George Clooney."
okay, this."
No
this is
way.
hot."
Wow.
Wow, and he
But he was
knows how
doing
to
it-
work his hands. He knows how to build a porch. You know.
Knows how to work his hands.
Mike Fitzgerald, if you're out there.
Our boy.
But you can't- it's such a
Hotlandlords.com,
common name,
all
Mike
right.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up anywhere. I've tried to Google him.
Wow.
He was a good landlord.
Wow,
It's
he's
because-
mysterious.
Yeah, it's because he's got a pen
handy.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Wow.
got an alter ego.
Yeah, I was just remarking last night with some friends that men used to build homes and now they make podcasts, and so our hands are so soft and unworn from building houses. But it's good to know that there's still hot firemen out there who can build porches.
There's still
so.
hot firemen out there building
Yeah.
porches.
Me
Don't
and-
worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
His hands. My porch can look like this.
I definitely have soft podcast boy hand for sure. Rick, I don't know about you. You actually you work the land a little bit. I think. How your hand looking?
No, I take care of them. I was a massage therapist for a long time, so I have like a certain connection with my hands. I don't like to have calluses on my hands because I just like them to be soft. Because I occasionally get hired by my girlfriend to give her massages, and hired is a really loose term for that.
It's like,
Definitely
wait a
the complete opposite. I don't get hired at all. It's been a while though. I can't act like I do it all the time. It's been a while, so Tiffany, one
shout
of these
out.
days we'll get back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we were at Shapiro Metal Supply yesterday. I was getting some materials for my painting practice, and that's the place that makes me feel very feminine. Not that that's bad. I
For
think
the sake of this stupid analogy of this, gender
and I'm happy.
space,
I'm
like,
happy about it. I'm very happy about it. I'm happy to be soft and supple. I think that's what all men should kind of like look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
But those guys in there really know what they're doing. So
Yeah.
it's just a bit different. I'm like,
It's just different. Yeah,
This is different.
it's an appreciation.
Y'all
of
are
what-
wild.
and knowing what we have and what others don't, or what vice versa.
Yes, sir. Could you please grab me one of those heavy pieces of metal? That's me every time I go to Shapiro. Yeah.
But, excuse me, sir. Could you please? Yes. No, that's a serious place, man. That place is really scary. I don't know, but it's really good. It's a fun
You
time.
can build stuff in there. Everyone's nice there too.
And we should look out. You should look out for the hot landlord there. Maybe he's getting metal
Oh,
pieces
yeah.
there. You should keep an eye
Maybe,
out.
yeah.
Maybe.
What was his
Maybe.
name? Pat Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald.
Mike Fitzgerald. Okay.
The ungoogleable name, especially
Yeah.
in St. Louis.
Ungoogleable.
There's probably like
I've Googled
8,000.
Mike Fitzgerald landlord, Mike Fitzgerald firefighter, nothing.
Yeah. Isn't like Mike Fitzgerald like a bar and grill down the street somewhere? Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it was him that put out the fire on the porch
I hope
just
he doesn't
secretly?
see this. I'm really embarrassed. He won't see it though.
No, he definitely won't.
Do I think what?
Do you think he had like a fire sense and his fire sense was tingling and he like
Oh,
got
yeah,
into
no,
his
he's a fireman. I didn't even put that
Well,
together.
the firefighters that did come knew him, which was
Oh,
funny.
Yeah,
the
they were like,
firefighters
"Oh,
actually
it's nice
came. I
place."
didn't know
And we
firefighters
have a great
came.
photo. We have a really good photo. It's on our Instagram somewhere of the firefighter putting the fire out, and he's just like smiling and waving while he's holding the hose.
It's literally a garden hose.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It literally was a garden hose.
I'm sure they had a great laugh over chili the next day.
I just
I'm
love
sure
the
they
idea that
did.
like the
Oh,
cavalry
so
showed
cute.
up and
Yes.
he's like, "It's okay, boys. I've got the garden hose. We're good." He's like, "All
Yeah.
right, Mike, we're cool. We'll see you later."
And it all happened. It all happened while we were asleep. So
Yeah.
I guess our neighbor saw it, and somebody like hopped the fence with the garden hose and put it out.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow.
Very good.
It was really hard to scrape that melted table up off the ground.
Yeah, we did have
Yeah,
to scrape the
I can
melted table
imagine.
off the.
Uh,
But it's all good.
It's all
Just
good.
just a small house
collateral.
fire.
little
Keeps-
collateral
Yeah.
damage. Yeah.
It built character for sure. Yeah.
Builds character, yes.
I have to say, quick side note: this chilada is bussin'. I'm starting to
Do you
feel
guys-
It is busting, right?
respectfully and disrespectfully. I think.
Respect.
I don't
It's-
feel great about
Especially
drinking
in-
the last of it. Does anybody
Yeah.
else have that feeling? Like, is it dreggy?
It gets a little.
It gets a little soupy
Oh, I
at the
hate
bottom there.
Yeah.
I hate
but-
dregs so much.
Yeah.
I cannot.
It's
I think for all intents and purposes, I have completed mine, and I'm a big fan. Felt like it was
Yeah.
it was breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of filling. It's actually like a lot. It's good. It's great. Full meal. is
Yeah.
good.
I was worried
We're
because
very-
they
so you
were
just
such
like-
tall cans, but now knowing that they're 3%, it makes sense. I
Yeah.
saw this and
Yeah.
I
It's
was
a
like,
really chill-
oh no.
Still daytime here.
Last time we did these, it was twisted
we were-
tea.
Yeah,
Oh,
what would you
yeah,
have
that
said
was
if you
something.
asked us what you wanted our beverage to be, and we were like, how about like a quadruple IPA, like a
Oh, we-
like a 12% for 10 a.m.
I think we've
We'll
done
take it.
worse.
We'll do it.
Twisted-
We've done worse.
We drank a lot of twisted tea that one day.
Oh my god! I think we got
Nice.
with Chloe Simmons.
With
yeah,
Chloe,
we went in with that.
'Cause
That was really something.
I don't think it was even this tall boy. It was like the next level from this tall boy. Was
The
it?
32 ounce.
It was a 32er. And
Nice.
yeah, we were all feeling the sugar high, the twisted tea high. We got twisted.
Yeah.
Like the whole middle segment of the show was just like really absurd that day. So I think
I'm
that's
glad to hear. I was.
the most bevved I've
That's
gotten.
a good vibe.
Is that the most bev you've gotten, Jake?
Yeah, it was definitely the most like twisted on cam. Like
Uh-huh.
it was like we are twisted fire starters today. I mean, speaking
Twisted
of fire
on
starting,
cam.
you know, that happened that day.
Twisted
We
on
were-
the live.
You've been more
Liddy,
twisted on
yeah.
Stars Align though than our brunch.
Oh yes, one of the show I run with my mom, our astrology based club night on Thursdays. It's coming this Thursday, Gemini edition. Check us
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
Yeah, we get twisted on that
You
show,
run it-
but we drink like hypnotic and like some
Liquor,
serious
just
stuff.
straight
It's
liquor.
in liquor, and yeah, it's lit
That's a-
anyway.
I've always heard that liqueur pronounced hypnotique.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe that's like an Oakland thing. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where you're
Yeah.
coming from with that, or yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like a West Coast.
that's the
thing.
West Coast
Yeah,
dialect.
definitely. Yeah, for sure.
All right. On that note, we're coming up to our second break here, so we're gonna take another Wow.
Quick. Hypnotique.
Sorry,
You're being
that was
quick,
my
yes, yeah.
that was my Oakland coming out. Let me put back on my Midwestern accent.
There you go.
Oh, OMG, little Miss Gabby says, what will the Gemini drink be? Are either of you
Ooh.
Geminis?
No.
Yeah.
I'm a Capriquarius.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm on the cusp.
I'm
Okay.
a
So I
extreme Leo.
identify as both. Yeah, Lex is a Leo if you couldn't tell from everything about him.
Sounds about right.
Very good. We'll let the chat deliberate and
Yeah.
analyze that for
Let
you
the
guys.
chat deliberate.
Yeah.
Capriquarius.
Yeah.
You
See
can
those
be
to see
both.
that combined chart for sure.
All right,
All
well,
right.
we're going to take our little break, and we'll be back shortly.
Very good.
Great.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
This project started to coalesce. I started to realize that travel agents and travel agencies first are going away. And I think that those words and that term and the beauty of that is so nice that I don't ever want it to leave. I don't want it to be replaced with Expedia. So I felt like kind of a personal responsibility as an artist to take care of that gray space of like what is going to happen to this word, what is going to happen to these terms, and find something that really feels like it fits it. So the travel agency operates kind of on this principle that many people who engage with the contemporary art community are tourists. And it's very difficult for people traveling to a new place for the first time to feel comfortable in that space. And the thing that the travel agency does, or travel agents do, is they use their expertise to translate local culture and norms to a tourist, to a visitor. And the process of giving that to them and making it clear to them is a way of like welcoming them into these beautiful new experiences.
But it's funny that you bring up Kiki's now, Kiki Salem's piece, which I feel like is totally so much different than Elle's piece.
Right.
You know, this one feels very, it is meant to be empowering and implicating the viewer and the reader in a very direct way. So I feel like, you know, yeah, and maybe more people took pictures of themselves in front of Kiki's piece because of that empowering aspect of it.
Yeah.
Also, I guess we can like talk a little bit too about like the digital audience. Like I think Kiki's particularly this one was like reshared so many times, and was just like it was really cool to see how far it spread that way. Yeah, they didn't have to be there, you know, to take a photo. They could just share the image that we took. But for them, it was like sharing her PSA.
There are a couple of things. Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was kind of the most contrast of like this is one that I saw a lot more interaction with on social, or a lot more people kind of like being a part of this image. I feel like this speaks, you know, like this is one that you step into and you can own this message for yourself and engage in this message for yourself. And there are a couple of other things that change with this one. The banner style of the text is very unique and divergent for the scope of what we see PSA typically do. And and then I'm not actually sure of the timing of this, but I think that looking at this one and then also looking at Jessie Donovan's billboard and thinking about them as like similar materials as well. So there's like this banner material and then this like, I think most often billboards are kind of like this tarp-like banner, you know, vinyl tarp material. And we have a detail of it here. Okay.
That's hand embroidery by Kiki.
Oh, wow.
That was a nice touch that she added to it as well.
Yeah.
Kiki works a lot with fiber arts. So
Yeah,
made
maybe
sense
that's
for the
why we
package.
were kind of drawn to working on, or we talked about doing banners with her, and she was really on board. She also like does tapestries in her work
Mhm.
and a lot of fibers, so I think
But
it
also-
really makes sense.
A big part of the banner decision for Kiki's work was because we wanted to accommodate the Arabic text, and so the way our infrastructure set up, it would have been difficult to cut out the Arabic text and place that. It wouldn't have fit on the wires so well, so that's why we opted for a banner approach.
That there are a lot of portrait work, but then there's also a lot of graphic design with some 3D elements on there. I'm looking. Do you see the one that I'm showing right now?
Yeah, I can see that. That's titled either Ritual 1 or Ritual 2, but they're kind of based off me looking into like historically, like coming from like African roots, how we like use rituals like throughout time as Black people, whether it's from Africa, the Caribbean, you know, like American Black people. I feel like regardless of where you're located, like the idea of like ritual and like spirituality has always like played a huge part in the culture as a whole. So this is me kind of like not direct, this is not like a direct like, oh, this comes from this spiritual practice, but it's definitely like a shout out to spirit boards and divination and like the different ways that we would use like fortune telling and different things like that. So this is kind of like a representation of that practice, like having shapes and like in different tribes in Africa, like they'll paint shapes on their houses and on their huts to represent certain ideas, whether it's like goddesses or representing protection or whatever. So this is like my take on symbols that to me represent protection, but also historically, like the triangle, the pyramids, or the idea of the eye and like mirrors, like reflecting back to you. So it's a lot of that, like a lot of personal interpretation about like divination and spirituality, but also like historical as well.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Club Stars Line. I'm your co-host, Jake Leach, and to my left on your screen is my mom, Denise Hewlett. Hi, Mom. How are you doing?
Oh, hi, son. How are you? We ready to do
I'm
this
doing quite
today?
peachy. Yeah, we're going to do this today. Well, so a lot has happened. I'm already out of breath. My God, we're just so hype in this. Mom, you're kind of somewhere else. The people can't really see, but we've got you're actually in space. It looks like.
Yeah.
So you're looking back onto the planet. Did you take like a Tesla rocket? Are you at the International Space Station? Where are you exactly right now?
That is a view of the Earthrise. And no, I am not in the space station. I am in my transit van in the high desert in Joshua Tree, California. That's where I'm. Shall we go ahead and show people? Should we
Yes,
do the
show
big
people
reveal?
where you're at. Let's take a
Okay, so
look
let me
here.
go ahead and open the van door.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Kind of bright, y'all. Can you see it?
Yeah, Mom,
Kevin,
here,
see?
bring your computer over so people can kind of see.
Am I doing the right?
Yeah,
part two?
that's. Why don't you go out and stand in it real quick, Mom, just to prove that it's not a green screen.
Hello, y'all.
Yeah, exit the van entirely. Go. This ain't no joke, y'all. Yeah, there she is, out in the world. We love to see this. Yes, bye, Denise. My mom said, or my mom, little Miss Gabby says, we got the chat blowing up over here.
Oh my goodness.
Ghost riding
All
the
right.
whip over here. So.
Okay, so we will be checking on the sunset periodically over the next hour and a half, but right now it is blazing, so I need to close it. So here we go.
Okay, yes. Get that door closed here, nice and cool.
Yes. Although, speaking of blazing, I also have my, can you see this?
Yeah, what do we have here?
My UFO incense thing going. So just to complete the whole thing, you know.
It's a full sensory overload, a full sensory experience you have going on here.
Isn't that interesting, Jake? Isn't that gonna? Yes, isn't that interesting?
Is
Keep
that
in
something that
mind.
might come up later on?
That might, exactly.
Okay.
So here we go. Now, this is going to be loud. Okay,
All right,
for
here we
the-
go, friends.
Yeah, okay, ready?
Everyone cover your ears. Okay. Ooh, goodness.
All right, all right, all right.
We're back, y'all.
All right, we're
Hello.
back, y'all. Welcome back. We were talking about the ills of paper straws there briefly over our break. I feel like paper straws is the epitome of the idea of it's the consumer's fault.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything wrong with the world is the consumer's fault is like the tagline for a paper straw. It's like,
Yeah.
first of all, I think that the drinkable lids are really nice.
They're really nice.
So easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you work at a restaurant and if you're really into all that, get metal straws and clean them.
Yeah. Totally.
True.
Grow up.
I did work. I always mention this restaurant. I only really worked at one, Frida's in St. Louis. We would get the paper straws, which I hated because that feels like nails on a chalkboard for me. They're just like,
It's so
oh
gross.
god, it's horrible.
So gross.
But one time we ordered some plastic, they were like plastic-like straws, but they were like compostable, but they felt just like plastic and it's clear and see-through.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was like I was like, wait, I have no guilty conscience, and I don't like the hair on my neck stands up when I open this. It was amazing, but I think they were more expensive or something, so it didn't work out. But anyway, I just every time these paper straws come up, there are options. Just people are too cheap to buy the other one.
Yes.
Or just
no disrespect to Frida's
just
whatsoever.
not
I
use
get
a
it, but
straw.
Yeah.
Just drink
or
out
just
of a
don't use a
glass.
freaking straw.
To,
Yeah.
to your point, Rick, this is I'm gonna tread lightly on this because it is spicy, but there's a really good book Lex and I have both read it's called Virtue Hoarders. Virtue Hoarders, the case against the professional managerial class. And it talks a lot about how the consumer being implicated in being good and making good choices, and it's all on the consumer to solve all of the world's issues basically. And it talks about making a taste out of
ethical consumption. Quote unquote.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel you. The paper straws
Wait.
are
I'm a PMC because I left my Impossible Burger at Burger King. Is what you're telling me?
I don't know if that makes you. So
I feel great when I buy that burger way too often.
You know about PMCs then? Yeah, it's all about PMCs.
What is a PMC?
Oh, the PMC vibe.
What'd you say?
Professional managerial class.
Oh, I don't know.
I listen to so many BS leftist podcasts, so yeah, I'm very familiar with them.
That's where we heard
Shout out Red Scare, but anyway. Poor Rick, every time I'm Red Scare comes up or something like that, or Chapo or whatever, Come Town, you name it. And I Rick, I send you the episodes. I don't know if you listen.
I don't listen to them.
You don't listen. And I'm just I want to talk about this stuff. When we had Chloe Simmons on, she and I were talking about Red Scare for way too long, and we had a great time, and I spent a lot of time in that space. So anyway, I was like, PMCs, let's talk, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I think that you and I, Jake, we need to just continue to be different people, and this is one of those spaces that I'm just gonna let you have, bro.
Jake, it's a
For the
good
content.
thing that I'm not listening to this. It's good. It's not that I dislike it entirely. I think you're shit.
Yeah, we both can't just be listening to New Models and Red Scare all day and become
It's really
these
true.
weird anti-tech art bro, anti-fa
Yeah. What new models? How many names can I drop here? Josh Citarella. Like who else can I throw in here?
We already
The
touched
homies.
on
Anyway,
Brad
sorry.
Trammell earlier, so
Brad Trammell. Yeah, everyone drink. We did it. We got it.
I love Brad Trammell.
I had the worst studio visit ever with Brad Trammell.
You had a studio visit with Brad
Yeah,
Trammell?
from his
Rick,
Patreon.
you got to do it. You got to do it. Just tell the story.
Tell
Do
them.
it live. Forget it. Let's go.
No, it's like I think I'm still gonna save it. That's just
No!
building it up.
All right, we'll look for
I
it
like
for
just
future
saying
episode.
I like just saying I had the worst Patreon studio visit with Brad Trammell ever.
Oh, you like
Unbelievable.
paid to have a studio visit with him?
I was
Well, when
I
you
was a Patreon member.
Okay.
I didn't get it for the studio visit. I wasn't that much of a stan.
Yeah.
I got it because I liked what he was doing for a little bit, and then had my studio visit and immediately canceled my Patreon subscription. So if that tells you anything.
Wow.
All right, we're
That's
trash
on him.
talking Brad Trammell.
We're gonna
live.
start.
Brad.
We're gonna start beefing. That's really the only way to the top is just to start beef.
It's a
We
start
gotta
beef,
start beef,
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got beef with Cool Whip. We got beef with
Yeah.
Brad Trammell.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Let's go. Let's get in here.
I'm scared for that Cool with Brad Trammell alliance.
I know. What if they get together and put an episode out and just like take us
They're gonna
down?
put their response up.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
God.
is it's going to be a slide carousel on Instagram.
Oh yeah, like a
God,
PragerU.
yeah.
We need to talk.
We need to talk about Cunst Gallery.
Yeah.
the fire hazards at Cunst Gallery.
Cunst Gallery's not it, honey.
What's happening at Cunst Gallery and how you can help.
JP still in the chat says "Cool Trammell."
Yes,
That's the new podcast?
Exactly. That's the new one. That's the collab.
That's the 17th Instagram
That's
account
our
that I have
podcast.
followed.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'm not ready for that.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready
Oh
for
my
that
God.
smoke.
Oh man.
Not ready.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Well, usually we
Rick,
talk about
yeah.
other art stuff. We finish it here, and then get into our questions. But I guess I just want to give you all an opportunity here on the fly to share anything else, like about the space or about this experience that you have had that we haven't gotten into. Anything else that like kind of rises to the surface. Just want to make sure y'all feel like you have had enough space to share about that experience.
I think I would just say, we're having some fun in the morning. We're drinking beers.
Yeah.
It's very, but like Cunst has been a very like fun, meaningful experience for us. Like I'm like on a serious note.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. We're very happy that you guys had us on. We've loved doing Cunst. It's really fun to be a part of like the St. Louis art community here. Like I'm a lifelong St. Louisan, so it's very, I don't know. It's just really cool to
A lifer.
I'm a lifer.
I
I'm
know
a
that
lifer.
lifer lifestyle.
Better
Yeah.
for worse. So yeah, I don't know. It's been very, very fun, and we're glad that people have enjoyed it. And we will continue to do Kunst, and we take submissions for
Yes.
the artists out there.
We are-
That's a new thing we're like trying to do is actually like plan out an exhibition schedule because we do not have a plan. We're technically gonna have an opening in July, but we don't know who we're showing yet. Maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't say that.
We'll edit it. We'll cut
But
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's great. We love Kunst and we love St. Louis, and it's been really fun. And we love our artists here, and yeah, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing.
We have a great list of Cunst alumni.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all
great
do
list.
really. Yeah.
I really didn't
Yeah.
realize how many you guys have put on. That's really kind of incredible
Yeah,
to see
we-
how many artists have really been through there.
And we really have only actively we've had Kunst for 2 years now, but we were only actively doing it
Right,
for
because
one
like
of
March 2020
Right.
obviously was a wash.
them. We moved to this house like literally like on March, like the end of March 2020, and
Wow.
we didn't want to have like a opening where you could like schedule times and like a few people were allowed to come and then had to leave or something, because that's really not the spirit of the space. We
Yeah.
decided we would rather be closed for an extended period of time and then really be able to open like when we could do it right and like have like a lot of people there and be able to do our toast and
Yeah,
because
totally.
for our most recent opening we had like capacity limits inside. We had people wear masks inside, but it's summertime, so it's nice out, so most people just hung out in the backyard and just waited in line to go in. They'd come in and see the art, chit chat for a little while, and then they went back out.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing some sort of like virtual show in the pandemic, but at the end of the day, we were just kind of like, that's not like, I don't know, it's like not fulfilling the mission of Cunst, so we would rather just not do it until it was safe to like gather again.
Mhm.
And then it was just totally obviously like by coincidence that the CDC came out with their like everything's fine now recommendation literally the Thursday before we opened, and we still required masks inside and tried to like limit capacity indoors, but
Mhm.
it did feel really nice to have that come out, and then like the next day we were like, oh, like people can hang out in the backyard and hopefully feel safe doing it. So
It did really feel like that. It did feel like that there for me being there. I was like, oh, like this is celebratory in all of these strange ways that like I don't think any of us anticipated.
Yeah.
And then that's something that I'm always going to kind of associate with that space, which is exciting for the future. But
Right.
but yeah, I mean it like our tendency is, especially like just in anything that we care about, our tendency is to try to return it to like how much we care about it. But I think that like it's evidence how much y'all care about it. And then like the fun is part of that too, but is also like we don't have to like act like adults in art spaces. Like we don't, it doesn't have to be like that. And we're, here we're super into creating like approachable moments for people. And like a lot of times that's like laughter and comedy. I was talking to Kalia Mallory at the Luminary has a huge impact on me when we were talking about this idea of like a third space or a third place. Those are two different ideologies, but like a third place, and how like trying to reimagine like the gallery is like a third place. And
for sure. Yes.
One of the main markers of a third place is that the amount of laughter per hour is like 3 to 4 times higher than any other spaces that we kind of inhabit on a regular basis. And that's like a good indicator that the place is functioning as a comfortable space outside of somebody's home or work.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
That is
definitely
yes to everything.
Yeah.
Yes to all of that.
I have while you're saying that, I had another idea of something that I want to share. So we have our 2 spaces in our gallery. We have the living room area, and then we have the basement, which is we call the TV room gallery, because that's what we use it for when it's not, we don't empty the furniture out. But something that we have talked about that I just want to put out there for anyone who is listening or watching is we have chickens in our backyard, and we have a chicken coop, and we've thought of having like that be sometimes a gallery, because it has like this wire like mesh as like the outside. We want to hang stuff. If someone has like a ceramic artist who has stuff that can get wet and be outside, hit us up. We want to do
we really want to show chicken coop gallery.
Hang like on the chicken
be
walls.
Outdoors. Hit us up.
Yeah.
I was feeling very tempted to ask if you guys were curious about doing like an outdoor space in the home, because I mean you have all this controlled space to yourself, so that's really cool to see that.
Yeah,
we
that
toyed
idea.
with the idea. We also have anybody who was at the opening, like right behind our backyard is a parking pad, but it's not technically ours, but the house behind us is vacant. They're fixing it up kind of right now, but it's just this big open parking pad, and we've definitely tried to like think through like, could we show like some sort of sculpture here, but
Oh, for sure.
it would have to be like a really specific type of artwork that wouldn't get stolen or is fine to get rained on. So we haven't like fleshed it out, but yeah, we're gonna put that out into the ether too.
Yeah.
If anybody has some sort of interesting like large sculpture that they don't think would get stolen, you can show it in our abandoned parking pad behind Cunst.
Cool.
Yeah. Literally all it has right now is a bunch of trash and
a mysterious oil barrel.
Yeah, a mysterious
that
barrel.
probably has a dead body in it.
No, it doesn't. It's very light. It's not very heavy. There's no bodies
A
in there.
disintegrated dead body.
You answered that really quick, Lex. I don't know why there's
like,
no body in there. I mean, no.
There's a body in there.
I got a question here in the chat. Miss Career Mod says, only tuned in recently, so sorry if this was discussed, but I'm curious what y'all think of the role of art is in the world, purely aesthetic or ? And how that changes when you bring it into your home, how it changes when you bring it into your home.
Ooh, bringing
Just
the
like a
heat.
really chill, casual question. Yeah.
Super.
As we're trying to
That's a
wrap
great-
up
that's a
here.
great question. That's a big one. I don't know. Do you want to go first, Lex?
I think that at the, art fundamentally is like a form of decor or entertainment, but I think it brings people together a lot. Like, I think it really has the power to, bring people together, create and, encourage people to think and share ideas with each other.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I would mostly agree with that. I think art is a space for like joy, and I don't know, like, what are we all living for if not to like enjoy our lives?
The
And
vibe.
we're here, we have fun,
We're just looking for vibes.
so I think art, but it also creates space for discussions and thinking through things really differently. I feel like we're very like not super serious folks, if you've picked up on that, I feel, but at the same time very serious. But I'm thinking about a show I saw at Crystal Bridges, and it was Hank Willis Thomas, his exhibition, and I feel like for me that was like a show where I walked through and I was just like softly weeping the whole time, and his work is like so powerful and amazing. And I like really, that specific exhibition I was walking through, and like that solidified for me. I was like, art can really like create change, I think, or can create change in the way that you think about things.
Can be very impactful.
Can be very impactful. I don't know, I'm not saying this very eloquently, but art can be many things. That's how I would summarize it. Art can be whatever you want it to be.
Well, Rick, I feel like you and I talk about this a lot, and this is coming to me as we're talking here. But I feel like, like art is almost like prompts. It like prompts you to think certain ways. So that could be fun. That could be deeply challenging. It's like kind of like a thesis statement without saying a word, or maybe there's tons of words. It's just that there's this prompting of like, here it is. Now, what do you do about it? What do you? There's like and then what? Is it a yes and? Is it a no but? Is it a what? You know what I mean? Like. I think and that's like as broad as I think I could think about it. Rick, I'm curious what you're kind of thinking, as we can all kind of
we can
attempt to scale this question here,
around the table a little bit. I agree with Lex that art is fundamentally entertainment in a lot of ways. I think that and then I'd also, so that's something that I play a lot around with in my personal practice, is like what it means to be a painter as an entertainer, or like with this project as like an artist as entertainer, and how like entertainment is, my bold claim is like entertainment is kind of like the most ethical job and the most ethical like form of consumption that we have inside of capitalism, is that like it's like a community-based experience that can bring us into new spaces. So when I'm feeling like really, really down on having to buy stuff and have a job, I watch YouTube videos, and then I feel relieved from, the consumption of that, even though that's like a crazy conglomerate capitalist system. Like from me to that person who's making something, or at least the people that I watch, I feel a connection. And then alternatively, or in addition to that, to stack that, art is a relational object. So it kind of only, for me, it doesn't work as like my own personal trinket anymore. Some people make stuff for them and like never show it, and that's really cool. But for me, it doesn't work. I think that like I'm trying to understand it as a method of connecting to others through visual language, connecting to others through objects that we don't typically have. So then moving that into the house, I think about that a lot, as like some of my work is for a gallery and some of my work is for a house. And sometimes there is
or
like,
a house gallery. What about
right,
a house
right.
gallery?
So that's interesting. I have these paintings that are like look like the back of old dirty work vans, and I have to question like how they belong in people's houses, and most of the time they won't. Like most of the time they'll go into galleries. But then when you have the house that is also the gallery, as you all show, you show this wide range of work that's moving between like household installation, something that people can own, something that people can frame, but then also like some of that stuff, as you said, is like an inconvenience in the house setting, but works in the house gallery setting, right? So I think that that's a really interesting space, is like making work between those two areas.
Totally.
Yeah, I love that answer. I totally agree with you. I think it seems like sometimes people have a hard time like acknowledging or like claiming that like art can be both things. Like it can be purely entertainment, but it can also like, you know, address like serious things and like, you know, create like spaces for conversation. But like both of those things can like exist.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I remember a time, I'm going to call you out, Lex. Lex got into a fight with somebody at a bar one time. I'm not going to name names. He was kind of like poking, like, you know, like art is just for fun. And this person was like, art is not just for fun. Art is like very important and all these things. And you were like, you agree with that too. But I don't know. It was a funny like convo. And I was like, it can be both.
I think
it can be both.
I feel like I don't think that it's necessary to like, if you say it's just for fun or it's a form of entertainment, that doesn't mean that it's like lesser or cheapens it. I mean, you think about your own life and think about the most meaningful experiences that you've had. Like chances are they're facilitated by the things that we do to entertain ourselves. Like they're what make life. They're what make life like. It's not like, you know, just like zonking your brain out or something, but like, you know, the things that are entertaining to you and like make you have fun are like what give your life meaning. That's what make it. It's what makes it enjoyable. Like I think that it's like I say that I think it's like a compliment to art to call it entertainment.
Yeah. Well, it requires work, you know, like yeah. So I think this is a response here. Miss Careermod says, okay, considering art as decor or just for fun feels like a pretty privileged perspective. Yeah, and I think that
we're getting in here. Let's go.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely like a valid critique. I recognize that I have lots of privilege in the art world, and a lot of my work deals with like personal experiences and isn't going beyond some of these personal experiences that I am working through myself. But like, I think what we were just getting into there with this idea of entertainment is, for me, entertainment also like involves work, and I build this bridge so we can talk about it. But like going to protests, being involved in social uprising, like can we classify that as entertainment space?
I would probably say no to that.
Yeah, no. But I think that like there's a line there of being congregated in a space with people with similar goals and similar directions of effort. So not trying to like downplay the importance of those spaces, but the communal aspect of marching in my experience has been something that's like connected me to my community. Or in some ways makes me think of like my definition of entertainment as like the way we spend time together, the way we make and build things together. But I do appreciate your perspective there, Miss Career Mod. I'm curious what y'all, how y'all
I mean,
respond to that.
Yeah, it's like anything. It's so broad that it can encompass like all different purposes. Like I'm thinking about, I don't know, again, I just think about like other forms of like entertainment or media or things we consume, like movies. Like there are really goofy, stupid movies like Jackass that are fun and obviously purely for entertainment. And then there's also like documentaries and like films that are like make you think about like the way you see the world and like change your mind. It's like, it can do, art can do whatever you want it to do. Like it can be something purely for entertainment, but it also can be, thinking like you mentioned, like protests and like making like artwork in that sense obviously like takes on a totally different meaning, but it's so broad. I feel like you can't, that's why I kind of like chuckled at that question. I was like, what is art? I'm like, damn, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like nobody has really a great answer for, or I mean, maybe people do, but I don't, because it's so, it's everything. everything. Like so many things can be art, and art can be so many things. So
It's like a kind of like
it's
a Ram.
expansive.
Yeah, everything is everything. You know, it's the like a very
Yeah,
like
I
be
know, it's
here
like the
now
easy
Ram
way
Dass
out.
kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, like if I could throw my last part in here is like, you know, it's like art is like a chaos agent, you know. So like this idea that you think you made this piece and it means something is like you have no control over it whatsoever, and you had some control of like what you put out. You've decided to say yes or no and made decisions, but like, you know, you could make something that's like really entertaining, but could be like deeply, profoundly meaningful to someone else on like a political space maybe, or something that's like, you know, like I really don't think that we can like have these hard and fast rules of like, you know, art that is just for fun isn't profoundly important, and art that is profoundly important isn't like, or like political maybe, or making a statement couldn't also like have some sort of entertainment value too. Like that, like I think often gets a lot of people to the table to talk about like serious
Yeah.
problems in art, is that like there was something that was flashy or caught your eye, because like we're humans, you know, like we are entertained by the shiny thing. So it's like, you know, like you like Rick, I feel like you and I talk about Jeff Koons. Is it Puppy? Is that what it is? This is my lack of art school showing here. But I'm just saying, like, you and I have had multiple hour conversations basically about like that piece, and like, not that that is by any means the point, like that's the example we should use for this conversation, but like by any stretch, I just think like it's you know, I guess, you know, deeper meanings. I don't know. I'm
I mean,
stopped.
I think, you know, so example that I'm thinking about is like, you know, think about like the movie Do the Right Thing. Like it's like one of the greatest movies of all time. I don't think anyone would, no reasonable person would say that's not an artwork. That's like, it's like a just absolutely magnificent masterpiece. But it's a movie. Like you go and like you watch that movie and it's very powerful and very impactful, and it like
And it's
it
also
has
entertaining.
it's not,
Yeah.
but it's not meant to just like zonk you, like knock you out. It's meant to make you like question these, you know, big truths about these big horrible truths about our society. But like it also has like a beautiful visual language. Like he, you know, like completely redesigned that block in Brooklyn to like make that movie.
Yeah.
Well, and we can come back to this conversation as well if there's more thoughts on it, and we can discuss it. I think that like the one thing that I want to add here is that like it is in the artist's court, and it is especially in the privileged artist's court, to not think that their work exists outside of what's happening, and is not existing in a world, in these like little subsets of worlds where, you know, people can like do whatever they want and can have their like, you know, like the 80s cocaine fueled orgy raids of like Terry Richardson, like of like just like hurting, you know, we are also like members of this community, and the things that we do have like really big impacts and are important. So that's something that I return myself to, is that like there's certain spaces, certain shows I'm not going to apply to, certain galleries I don't ever want to show my work in, because like my work right now is existing in a place that's like deeply personal, and also isn't yet like confronting issues larger than some conversations I want to have with my community, or some conversations that I want to have about myself. So being careful with how we take up space too is important.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
Okay, so let's see here. Miss
We got some
Griermod
chat.
says, strong agree with that, Rick. Having a socially engaged practice is super important. If we aren't thinking about our audience, especially as white folks, we aren't doing that work, in my honest opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, you know, like we have this show here that's, you know, thanks for the feedback, and thanks for bringing us into that space, because we have this show and we're, you know, using, you know, we could get into like what this platform means and what the access means, and, you know, the ungodly amount of affluence that we have to even like participate in this show. You know, like there are many artists in our community that may not be able to participate in the show or have access to create these types of things. And it's not something that we often talk about, but that's what the travel agency's goal is to do, is to bring more people into the live stream spaces. But I appreciate that, because we don't always get there, you know, and it's important for us to recognize that, like, the affluence that we are coming to the art world with in these particular positions, having a house gallery. I'm white. I'm a landowner. Like I navigate those things all of the times too.
I'm a landowner, yeah.
And that's like
so chuggy, Rick, of you to be white and have a house.
No, but
that is chuggy. That is chuggy.
but it's important to share about those spaces and to be called out for it too, because that's the position that I'm in. I'm in the chuggy position.
Yes.
I'm in the chug seat.
Yeah.
We wanna switch over to our it feels kind of weird now.
We've never had such a hard shift like this. This is going to be so.
The last segment is like, if you thought we were joking around before, it's like joking on top of jokes.
Well, I guess the thing I would add to, like, maybe this will sort of put a wrap, like a final, one of my thoughts on this conversation we just had is, in all of the work that people are doing, it is important to have space for, rest and joy and like release and silliness. And those are all important tools to have to, like, we live in a really fucked up country, world, planet. I think we all, at least hopefully everybody is cognizant of that. And so, everyone like uses their space the way they need to. And I feel like for us, we just think of this as, a place for like joy and community. And that's, important to us to have that, I don't know, to provide a little bit of joy in an otherwise complicated universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to do it publicly too. Like it's you guys are trying, and that's really cool. Like you're putting, there's risk involved with any like physical space. And I mean, we're in a public space right now, and there's risk talking about this because this is being recorded and whatever. But I think like we briefly said earlier in the show, like, everybody's on the table, like everything is like, if you're not open to criticism, then like, why are you here? Sort of. So I think we all like,
why would we go live?
Yeah. So I know, I really welcome that conversation. I'm so glad people are getting in the chat like that.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
We just, and honestly, we love like on this show, especially to like, let's have this, and then like we're gonna talk about Crocs. So let's get into that.
Because that's what brunch is too. I've had arguments with friends at brunch.
Yes,
precisely. Good arguments. All right, let's slide over here. We can return to that if anybody else has something that they want to add to that conversation. But now we're gonna. I thought I came up with a new name for this segment. I said it to you the other day, but I forgot it. I also
forgot
10 questions of something, and it felt really good. But I don't know what it is. So this is the 10 questions of something segment.
Yes.
A way that we can slowly climb out of, where we've been today and what we've done, and give people just further opportunities to connect with you all around these like pop culture ideas. So let's get into that. Let me just pull them up here.
Okay. I got them up already, Rich.
You got them up? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so first question, y'all. What is one simple thing you're trying to get good at?
Gardening.
Sewing.
Ooh, okay.
I've been sewing, trying to sew more of my clothes.
Fantastic.
Were those hobbies that you picked up during the last year and a half?
Sewing is something I learned. I got a sewing machine when I was 21, and I took a class and I learned how to like use the machine, but I wasn't making a ton of stuff. And so during the pandemic, I kind of re-engaged with sewing and taking more classes and like buying patterns and learning how to actually like make a garment.
I started gardening when we moved to this house because we didn't have a yard before, but now I love plants and I love growing things. I love working in the garden.
That sounds nice.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go. I got them up now.
Okay.
What is your favorite type of gum?
Oh, 5. The
blue 5.
The blue 5.
Blue 5.
Yes.
Fucking sure.
Let's
Big
blue
plastic
blue
pack.
5. Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
big pack.
That's how you know it's real.
Yes.
Rick's
Easy.
a big proponent.
It's my
Anyone
favorite
who's-
too.
Yeah, it's Rick. He never stops talking about 5 gum. So,
It's good.
like, I
I had a student give me some 5 gum the other day. Like he
Ooh.
came into my class. I'm a school teacher. My student came into my classroom and just offered me some, and I was just like, "This is my favorite. I love it so much. Thank you, thank you for that."
really
And
made
then
the
everybody
day.
got some gum that day.
Do you feel like you have like more respect for that student now? Maybe you can't talk about it, but just
I
like
have respect for all my students.
oh
They're-
yeah,
they're-
Yes,
they're
of course.
remarkable.
that's a good answer. I would have to myself. I can't speak for you, Lex, but myself, if one of my students who I had like questionable thoughts on beforehand, maybe they turned in a few assignments late, and they came one day with the little grip, the little 5 gum grip, and gave me a slice. Is that what it's called? A slice of gum.
Slice of gum.
A slice of gum.
Give me a slice.
And things might change a little bit for them. Things might change a
Wow.
little bit for them in my
Easily
mind.
swayed, Rick.
I was glad that he felt that comfortable with me as a teacher to give me gum.
It's nice.
I was like, I'm glad that I've cultivated a classroom environment where like not only is he like achieving a lot of stuff, but feels comfortable with that.
Yeah, and then you say that's what it feels like to chew 5 gum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And teachers don't want apples; they want 5 gum. That's what they. When you want to bring it to them,
It
that's what they
for
really want.
sure is the case.
Yeah.
I also get a lot of candy, and I'm not a really big candy person, so
Mm.
kids are always like surprised. They'll give me candy as like a gift, and then I just give it out to the class as like I'm just like, who wants Milky Ways or something, and they're just like, but I gave you that. And I'm like, well, I'm giving it back to you because we are all gonna share it.
Yeah,
I chew
bring it up
gum
for the
like an
class, you
adult.
know? Yeah.
I mean candy.
Yeah.
I was at the
So I'm-
doctor's office the other day, and I was eating like a Lara bar, waiting because I was hungry. And then the doctor came in and saw that I was eating a Lara bar, and they left the room. And they're like, "Okay, well, like, enjoy the rest of your candy bar." And I was like, "Bro, this is fruit.
This is
It's
good.
literally all fruit."
No, look at the label. Look.
Yeah,
It's
look,
good.
it's not a snick. Don't you
Come
see?
on.
Don't you see the muted pastel colors of
Yes.
a green organic living?
Mhm.
Okay, sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
Thank you, Rick. I'm glad. I have a question for y'all. Have you successfully completed a game of Monopoly?
Surely I have, but
No,
not in a
for me,
long
no.
time.
You two haven't played Monopoly together.
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
Probably
We've
shouldn't.
not play together.
I don't want to play Monopoly.
Yeah.
Lex is no. He's anti-Monopoly.
I get it.
I have not played in probably like 10 years, but I'm sure I have finished a game at some point in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I know for a fact that I haven't because I don't know how the game ends.
It ends when someone has all the money, I think.
Despair. And
Someone
it's
flips
despair.
the board. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
It really does everything. That game is like a great analogy for kind of the whole system that we live in.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we usually ask artists this question, but other than the job that you're doing right now, and what would your dream job be without like any limits? Like, no physical, mental, spiritual, emotional limits.
Mine would be that's easy. Like a rock star. That would be my dream job. I'm a big karaokeer. I love karaokeing, and yeah, no limits. Like if I was Lou Reed, that's what my dream job would be. Being
Okay.
Lou Reed.
Being Lou Reed.
Okay.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Lauren, I wanted to mention I've since we started talking, we did our pre-meetings, and I hope you're a big fan. I feel like your voice is very similar to Miley Cyrus's. Do
I've
people bring
gotten
that up?
that before.
I'm sure.
That's
Like,
really-
I don't mean to act like that's like a novel thing that I just brought up to you.
No,
I'm
I
serious,
take.
but-
I love Miley Cyrus. I take that
Okay.
as a compliment. I have got. That's really funny. I've gotten that from a few people before. That my
Okay.
speaking voice sounds like Miley Cyrus.
I
I think
wonder
my
what that's.
It's a good sign.
I've tried to sing "Party in the USA" at karaoke, and I'm actually not that good at it. We have similar speaking voices, but I feel like her range is different than mine.
I will say though,
I
that's
can't-
like
I can't knock that out of the park. It's a hard song.
I feel like where she's moved now in a career is a lot more like rock voice, like
Yeah.
epic singer.
Yeah.
I think you
little
should
more
try
rocker.
that. See if that
Yeah.
would come
Yeah.
out better. Because Party
Try
in the
out her
USA is like
cover. She
very.
does the good cover of "Heart of Glass." That's her new thing.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe I'll do that at karaoke.
You should try that. That'd be perfect.
Miley Cyrus for a glass.
Yes. I like Wrecking Ball. I have done Wrecking Ball at karaoke. I'm pretty good at that.
Okay, perfect.
But not
You
Cardi
covering
B.
Miley Cyrus, covering
Covering Blondie.
Covering Blondie, right?
Let's
And Lex,
do it.
what
I'm
about
ready
you?
for that.
Yeah.
I think I would be right now. I'm just so into making gardens right now. I think like a landscape architect, but I would also want to have the same schedule as being a school teacher, because it's so amazing to have like so much time off throughout the year. And so yeah, landscape architect with a school teacher schedule.
Ooh, okay. I love the specificity. That's perfect.
We'll have to answer that question someday, Jake, but not today.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever answered that one.
We never have. I don't know if we've actually answered any of these questions, but that's kind of the fun.
You want to wait till?
Huh?
I think Lauren will be back in a second.
Oh, Oh, I was looking at the. Sorry,
Yeah.
I switched tabs. My bad. Sorry.
So Jake, what would your dream job be with no limits?
Oh God. Can I answer one of the older questions? A dream
this
job. Rick, you go first.
Okay, so it would be one of these two things. I think I would either want to be a scuba instructor or a skydiving instructor.
Oh my God.
That's a great answer.
Both equally scary in different ways.
I think that
for
they're
sure.
so weird. Those two jobs are like kind of the opposite, but they're kind of exactly the same, where you spend like a majority of your life like not in terrestrial Earth. So just thinking about like some skydiver bro, like or gal and or gal bro, and just like thinking about their day as like, okay, like I'm jumping out of a plane, I'm jumping out of a plane, I'm jumping out of a plane. Like that's just like what they do throughout the day.
Yeah.
And they like, I want to be that person, the guy that like goes up, jumps with the newbie, lands, gets another newbie, goes up, jumps with them. So I'm spending like, I want to get as much time in the air as possible.
Have you ever been skydiving?
No, I'm terrified of it. But I think it would be so cool to live in that. Or like scuba, you know, you're always in this other world. So it's like non-terrestrial jobs. I really like that. I think that's why people like astronaut, but like astronaut's like kind of really creepy to me, being an astronaut.
That's too scary. I wouldn't want to be an astronaut.
You just like fall forever. I don't know.
Yeah.
That freaks me out.
And you have to it messes up your muscle tone. You like astronauts have a hard time. They have to work out in really specific ways.
It would be so annoying to be in space and have to work out.
Yeah, all the time.
It's like that's
you can't even lift. You have to use rubber bands.
That's
you have to lift, bro.
Not what
There's
I'm
no
in space
do you
for.
even. You have to lift, bro, for sure.
If I'm in space, I am not rubber banding. Okay, let me get back to the questions here. Jake, you're saved for today.
Favorite cartoon growing up?
SpongeBob.
In unison. Wow. No more. That's wonderful.
There's not even a distant second.
Yeah.
SpongeBob is so good.
I was a SpongeBob freak. My bedroom was SpongeBob. Like, yeah,
No way.
I honestly think SpongeBob is like one of the greatest like television shows like of all time, probably.
It has.
It's a perfect show.
Yeah.
Easy question.
I have such an aesthetic connection to the episode where they painted everything chrome because it was the future.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything's from the future.
I think that
Squidward is the future.
Was it a particularly good episode, or was it just like a really?
That's a good one.
It's a good
It
one.
is a great one.
It's
That's
real,
a
that one's
fantastic
really
one.
trippy too. When isn't that the same episode where he ends up like
In
in like
purgatory.
in the void?
Yeah.
essentially?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
There is
good.
that one.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
It's like a very trippy, weird children's TV show.
Okay.
It's a wonderful moment.
Yeah, SpongeBob, hardcore for sure.
When you're driving, are you the giver or the receiver of the finger?
Receiver.
Lex is a bad driver.
I have a very small, very, very small car that makes it feel like you're about to crash all the time, and that's why Lauren thinks I'm a bad driver. I'm actually a very good driver.
Okay.
What do you have?
What are you
A
whipping?
Yaris. Toyota Yaris.
A Yaris.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That 3-door life? Yeah.
Yeah. It's mine's a 4-door.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Deluxe.
I don't
Gotcha.
give or receive, I don't think.
Okay, so you
I'm not.
so you
I
receive.
am very averse to like road rage. I remember as a child, my dad would get like road rage, and it always like scared me, and so I'm very like averse to it. I do not yell at drivers.
Okay, it's for the best.
Not like confrontation.
I was a very road ragey guy growing up. I've had some experiences recently where I think my road empathy is finally kicking in after like 12 years of driving. I was driving on Kings Highway the other day, and there was a guy. I mean, it wasn't the other day. It was a few months ago now because I'm still reeling from it. And at Southwest and Kings Highway, they were turning right onto Kings Highway from Southwest, which never am I ever going to make that right-hand turn. And they were going so slow, and like we had a green light, so I had to slow down. So I just like laid on my horn in like typical asshole fashion because like, what are you doing? And I like speed by them, and I look over, and the guy just like has this like really puppy dog look on his face and is like,
Aww.
And I'm just like, oh no.
Mean.
It's over. Like that was like the last road rage moment I've had. And since then I've just been like, anytime I get angry, I just think of like how sad I made that guy.
Can't do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick, it's okay. We forgive you.
Thanks.
We'll move on. So we're getting up to the end of the show here, so we can maybe kind of speed round the rest of them. But take your time, whatever you guys want to do. What are your thoughts on Crocs?
I've never owned a pair, so I feel like I cannot speak to the Crocs experience. No comment. No comment.
My thoughts on Crocs is I don't think that there's any issue with them from a fashion standpoint, but I have owned a pair, and I didn't. Two things. One, I found that they gave me blisters on the top of my feet, and two, I found that I thought it was kind of hard to get pebbles out of them when you get a pair shoe. Because the little holes on the sides are not that big.
Nope.
Yeah.
They're big enough to let pebbles in and not big enough to get pebbles out.
Yeah.
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 Kind of the worst of both worlds.
Door.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, Denise, road empathy. That's the new wave.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so these final three questions kind of have a more toned down thing. This is as we kind of wrap up, we just kind of connect to these ideas. What do you think most people get wrong about artists?
Gosh.
I don't know.
Golly.
I think some people think artists are like more aloof than they actually, in my experience, have often turned out to be. I feel like most artists are just, like not as aloof as the stereotype would say.
I'm gonna go with that. I agree. Agreed.
Good.
That's my answer.
Okay, and then I'll take this one, and then Jake, you can round us off.
Cool.
This is number 9. Do you all have a meditation practice or a similar way of kind of like relaxing or connecting to the world?
I go on a lot of walks.
I'm a
Very simple. Yeah, I like going on a walk and listening to music.
I'm a very avid biker and runner. I love to run and I love to bike.
Wow.
And I do that for long periods of the day.
Yeah.
Quick question: the gardening that you're doing, does that have like a meditative practice to it?
No, I don't think of it as meditative at all. I think
Lex is
It's
very
work. I tell you what.
to me, honestly, it's more of like a shopping practice because I like buying seeds and buying. That's what it is. I mean, it's like a decorating and shopping practice. I like to buy seeds and I like to buy plants and sit in the yard and think about what I should do with this blank spot or that blank spot. And I just waste money on buying hella plants.
Awesome. Fantastic. And this very last question, what is the most memorable response you've had about your work? And let's say, I guess, to Cunst in this space.
Most memorable. I mean, honestly, I would just say like this past opening, we had just so many people came out. We were not expecting the crowd that we got, and it was just really good vibes. It was like we said, like right after the CDC came out with their mask
really
announcement, and I felt like people were just vibing and really happy and really glad to be in like a crowd again. And I don't know, yeah.
I'm gonna
be my most memorable, I would say.
I'm gonna say yes, I agree with that, but also on a different track, I think it's really pretty frequently, not like everyone, but like some people will get really confused that we're not making money off of this. They'll be like, wait, so what? How do you make money off of it? And we're just like, we don't. And that's like, we are explicitly not trying to like make money off of this. And sometimes people just like can't figure that out.
Yeah. That's a funny, like, I'm gonna throw my mom and dad under the bus here. It's a funny boomer thing. They're always, every time I do like something, I've done like DIY arts things other than Cunst. I ran a zine for a while, and
Zine.
I worked at like a music venue in my college town. And the question is always like, you just do it like for fun? Like you're like, you do it like you don't get
Because you
paid?
like it?
Like, it's
The
just
love?
a volunteer thing. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just fun to do. And they're always like, so you're not getting paid? It's very, yeah, for some people that's very confusing that you would just do something just for the fun of it.
Yeah. Sometimes love is the currency, you know.
Yes.
Sometimes love is the
And that's-
currency.
Or
Yeah.
vibes, you know. You be paying vibes for sure.
It costs us nothing to run Cunst, and we don't make anything to run Cunst.
Yeah.
It costs us beer. That's it. But people donate, so that's literally all it is.
That's the currency I want to work in personally. But
Another one final thing I want to say. I really want to stress that the beer donations at Cunst are optional. I don't want people to feel like they have to pay for each one. We just put it out there, just if you want to help out, fund it. But we did a bar at this last one just for COVID, and I was really trying to hammer home, like, you do not have to give us money for this. You can if you want, but it's not like tipping is optional but mandatory. It is very, very, very optional.
Gotcha.
Well, it gives people a good way to give back. Simple way.
I mean, it's exchange of energy for sure. No, it's.
But yes.
Yeah. Keep it simple for sure.
Like I don't want the bar to turn a profit at Cunst.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to run a bar out of our home.
It is supposed to operate at a loss.
Okay, good. Well,
fantastic.
we appreciate y'all being here and appreciate what y'all are doing for the community and the space that it creates. And it's awesome. So if people want to come see the show that's up, they can still make appointments, right? With you?
Yes.
So
DM us, email us, whatever your form of contact is.
do that.
DM us on Instagram. The email goes to my phone, so I see it.
Okay.
But if you want to submit your work to Cunst, we do ask that is done via email.
Okay.
With a subject line saying Cunst submission. The reason for that is we're not like, we did a submission show, a submission-based thing last summer on Instagram, and people sent us stuff on Instagram. But every time someone like reacts to a story or like anything like that, it comes into the DMs. So we want to be able to search it so we can find your work more easily.
Yeah.
Good.
We may do a Google form at some point, but right now it's just email.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Got it.
And then the next opening will be sometime in July, right?
Sometime in July.
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't know who we're showing yet.
TBD.
Great.
Well, and then Software for Girls in the chat, would a shower Tiesto DJ set bathroom window performance piece need a submission? It sounds like we already okayed it, from what I understand.
We're gonna be in touch about that. That's such a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
Oh my God.
All right. On that
Thank
note.
you for having us. This was very
Oh my
fun.
God.
Yeah.
Of
Okay,
course,
good.
absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
And thank you guys for doing what you do.
Yeah,
This is really cool. I'm excited that this exists in St. Louis now. This is really fun.
We got stuff going on. We're doing stuff.
Thank you.
We had this. Yeah, thank you. We had this. We have Artists Play Video Games Tuesday. Maybe a return to Minecraft. We built Joe in Minecraft last time we played Minecraft. So we need to do a Joe walkthrough. I need to get that video up on our Instagram. And then Thursday we have the big event this week, which is Club Stars Align Gemini Edition.
Yes.
And
hell yeah.
That's 8 to 11 Central Standard Time.
Yep.
With our DJ here, Jake, Puzzle Pisces, and Software
Nice,
for
man.
Girls set. She says, "Get ready."
Nice.
Woo!
Love it.
So yeah, that's what's coming up for us this week, and then next weekend or Sunday, a week from today, we have Carly Mendel, New York-based artist has connections to St. Louis, coming on Art Brunch next week, right, Jake?
Love her work. That's right. Yeah, next Sunday.
Sweet.
Okay, and then we do want to shout out our friends and family over at the Luminary. So funding for the travel agency and Art Brunch was provided by the
Yay,
Luminary's
thanks, Luminary.
Thanks,
Futures
Luminary.
Fund regranting initiative. So thank y'all for that, and we'll see y'all on Twitch in a couple of days.
All right.
Bye everyone.